We're now live! The Justicars are back for more justice sandwiches. And as always, Cliff, our mighty GM, is here to guide us. So I'm going to shut up and let Cliff take over.
Yes, welcome to episode 5 of the first season of the Justicars. I guess we're past the halfway point now. We have done 4 episodes now, 4 more to go. Lots been happening, getting to know these characters. I've been having a lot of fun. How have you guys been enjoying the campaign so far?
It's been a good time so far.
It's been really fun.
I suppose I should ask individual people so we don't have everyone talking at once. And we were missing Core last time, so we have her back again this week, so
yay!
Welcome back.
Thanks. Glad to be here and less squished than I was the last time I was.
Yeah, and last time, I guess we picked up at the beginning with traveling from one place to another with the people you'd rescued, and there was a bit of a misunderstanding. We had kind of a classic superheroes fight each other before they realize they're more or less in the same team, and you got to meet some interesting characters. I guess instead of me recapping everything, Whitney, why don't you tell us your impression of those new people?
I actually am trying to remember.
Well, we had
a werewolf of some sort and a kid.
Yes, Envy the werewolf.
Yeah.
And crap, I should have his name in front of me. It's something light. No, Pride Star. The kid who has light powers. That's it. Light isn't part of his name. It's his powers. So, yeah, those two had been captured and tested on, and you rescued them along with General Maxon, who was, in treatment and a bit rough off. And overall, I guess set about getting back, getting your HQ all settled in and back to your lives. And I think you had an interesting new hire, I believe. Opti, why don't you tell us about that?
So this was something that I was personally conflicted about, but we needed...
Opti? I can't hear you.
Can you not hear me?
Now I can, yeah.
Okay, so I just realized that my push-to-talk works for you guys, but my mic is always on according to the chat. And so I've been typing real furiously and dogs barking in the background and burping like it's going out of style. And you guys can't hear me and tell me that I'm doing it, and the chat's been super nice. So I'll fix that later.
Yeah, chat, don't be nice about that stuff. We need the tough love on
yeah,
that.
if Opti's burping, man, you got to tell him,
right?
Hey, don't do that, jackass.
Yep. Then it goes up on YouTube, and everyone else for the end of time, he hears all that through the episodes. Yeah, just jump in, be rude, interrupt us, just say, hey, it sounds terrible or something. We need to know that. So thank you for those of us for those people who do help us with our gremlin management.
Yeah, so we needed a nurse, and we put out an ad in the paper for, hey, who wants to be a nurse at the superhero club downtown? And the first person, or maybe not the first person, but certainly the most qualified person, happened to be, I believe it was it Sue?
Yes, her name is Sue.
Who, the sentient Tyrannosaurus that had once fought and betrayed us. So, giving the benefit of the doubt.
Technically, she wasn't actually on your side, so didn't actually betray you.
What felt like ingratitude. She was ingracious
during an important time while people were being kidnapped. Yes, so there's that against her. But
my complication of always having to see the best in people to a fault put me in the position where I couldn't say no to her accepting the position. So we have a Tyrannosaurus nurse. That's
if I die, it's your fault then.
No, if you don't get fixed, it's my fault. So yeah, that's an interesting thing that happened. We have a Tyrannosaurus nurse now.
All right, and the other action that happened was an alien attack on the mall. UFO blasting things left and right, and you all went to go face it. Well, not all of you, because Core was a bit, unreachable at the moment for one reason or another. Do we want to explain that with any particular narrative device? Sarah, I'll leave that up to you, or shall we sort of more or less hand wave you in and just have you show up in one of the upcoming panels?
In terms of how I get back to you guys?
Yeah, I'm curious if you have any sort of interesting narrative device that you'd like to use to explain your character's absence, or should we use the classic technique that my friend Carlton uses often for missing players, in that the character, if the player is missing, the character just isn't there and no one happens to notice or comment on it, and then when they're back, and they were in the background doing other various things, and we're there, just not in any of the panels. So
okay,
that's an easy way to do it if you want. But if you have an idea, I don't want to skip past it. So
I happen to know that I got extra special healing drugs from my friend Astro Chimp. When I'm unconscious, I can't protest about the giant syringes. So I got something that helped boost my healing. And then as I was getting better, I got some fresh air. And when I returned, I seemed fully back to normal. So I just caught up with my friends once I got dropped off, because I like people.
Okay. So you'll be more or less catching up on the scene, checking out that there is in fact a disabled UFO here, because the team showed up to fight it, and I believe Ether and Gravistar have actually boarded the craft, haven't you? Bob, why don't you give us a little bit of a recap on the UFO battle before we dive in, and then set us up with where you are now.
Yeah, we arrived on the scene at the mall where the UFO is attacking the food court. They were primarily targeting mayhem more than actually targeting people, or as far as we could tell. But we tried talking to them. We found out they're actually galactic bounty hunters of some sort that was here looking for Astro Chimp's illegitimate twin sister, apparently. We tried to talk it out, but they were kind of a-holes about the whole thing, and so we disabled their ship and forced them to land in the parking lot.
Yep, and I believe that's where we are. So I think Gravistar and Ether. Ether, I believe you are in your sort of regular body that you use at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, I shouldn't have done it, but I am. I thought about that afterwards. I was like, oh, crap.
And you've just gained access to this place, and Opti's provided some good pictures that I think those will work nicely for our alien bounty hunters. So there's the two of them inside the craft, and when you open up the door and burst inside, well, how are you approaching them?
I have a super suit. I actually have a suit that
I made it.
Astro Chimp gave me. Yes. That was between not last session, but the other two, I think, is what we decided. But I do have a suit on. So.
Cool. Is it like it's like sort of a body armor with a jetpack and stuff?
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats right now. He sent them to me last time, and I didn't add those, unfortunately.
Sounds good. So you and Gravistar have just breached the airlock, and you see the aliens are just sort of like both turned around from facing their consoles. They almost have this guilty look about them, even though this is first contact between your race and them, as far as you know. How are you and Gravistar approaching this? What are you doing?
So yeah, I'm powered up, but approaching cautiously. At this point, I don't think I can communicate with them.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of look at him and kind of move forward as well, very kind of carefully, because we don't know what they're capable of really, as just by their bodies, I guess.
turning and like raising various appendages that are flailing around them and making different sort of strange sounds. And it seems like they're not immediately on the attack, but they're holding they're each holding a couple of different technological devices, any of which could be a weapon, as far as you know. I mean, none of them look obviously like a weapon, but
Yep, I'll keep my powers focused on making sure the ship stays grounded and protecting Ether and I until Opti can get in here, because he was actually talking to these things.
okay. So, Opti, you see Core has just arrived outside, and Astro Chimp is out there as well.
Great. I'm gonna get in there and look stern with these people. Wait, they said they wanted the chimp, and so we decided to they don't get him. They don't get the chimp. So we're gonna tell them to I'm gonna try to not be xenophobic in our current climate. We're gonna tell them to please go back. Please leave.
I say, sort of, you're communicating through them with this sort of mental ability of yours, or Opti powers, or
I made him a communication device that lets him translate, read, and
okay.
It wasn't perfect, so there was some weird.
So it's not an Opti power; it's an Astro Chip device. Got it. Okay, so they're sort of communicating and chittering and such to you when they're letting you know we can't. We're under attack by this this defender, this guardian. He's we're licensed for bounty hunting. We shouldn't be under censure for guardians. And what is he even doing? Like, there aren't even supposed to be guardians around anymore. No one's seen them for over, and he mentions it what sounds like a long period of time.
Yeah, you can't just. I don't know what all of that's about, but you can't just go hunting bounties on sovereign territory. And Earth
this isn't officially licensed sovereign territory. There's
not
no
to you.
Protections on here. No legal protections whatsoever. We can do it whatever we want here. It's just.
Well, I think I understand.
Isn't officially recognized. Your sovereignty is. I mean, no one's heard of this place, right?
Well, you are aware that
that's why people hide here.
You are aware that sovereignty, the idea of sovereignty, exists also even to places where you haven't been or heard of. The idea of sovereignty is not owned by any particular sovereign. This is, I mean, like, surely you understand this as bounty hunters, that you can't just go into people's property without their...
Of course not. Sovereignty is a matter of legal status.
Yes, but you are aware that not everybody follows your laws. There are places in the universe which are not bound under the sovereignty of whatever sovereign you follow. We are self-sovereign here. And we don't even know which laws you're referring to. So how could we... Anyway, the point being is that you're not welcome here, and we need you to leave.
Well, you obviously have a guardian protecting this place now.
Well, we've got a lot of them.
Enforce things.
Justicars. There's 5 of us.
Maybe you should... What? No, there's the one. I'm not sure what you think you are, but that's a guardian.
Well,
it's unmistakable.
Which one? Which one of us are you
referring to?
The
Gravistar.
Oh, well, yeah, we've got a couple of those, too.
A couple?
We don't understand it either, but yes, one of them's ours, the other one's hanging around.
Listen, I'm completely unqualified here to give you legal advice, but I should at least tell you that you need to be registering your planet, okay? Especially if you're going to be enforcing things with a guardian. And people could come around and blow up buildings and things and then be punished as if they committed a crime or something.
Well, that's what's about to happen if you don't leave. You're about to be punished.
Your guardian is holding our ship down with some sort of gravity manipulation ability. So far, we've been unable to counter it.
Wait. Oh, you didn't crash because I I blasted you and pushed you. Oh,
Well, you
gosh,
did
darn
some
it.
damage to the craft as well, but it's the gravity field that is affecting us the most. If you will agree to release us, we will leave this planet and also file a complaint with our bounty hunter registration system, so that other bounty hunters know that there is some unregistered law enforcement activity here.
Say, which galaxy or sector part of the universe do you represent? Like, what laws? What's the organization or city state that you represent? That you what laws? Tell me more about these laws.
There are so many of them. We really.
Well, you said we should register. I don't even where would we? Is there a post office?
Here, and he takes out this small cube and passes it to Ether. Like, one of the tentacles reaches out and plops this little cube in your hands. Like, do you take it or let it drop?
Yeah, she'll take it. It's kind of that instinct thing that, like, somebody hands you something, you have to, like, reach for it.
There, that's a data cube that's got some basic information. It can project visually to assist you if you are unfamiliar with its basic operations. Assuming you've got some technically capable people here, based on the some of the technological advancements I've seen in some of your equipment, well, you ought to be able to read it. If you can't, well, you don't really deserve any of the information in it, I suppose, and we should probably leave you alone to avoid contaminating you as some sort of, I should say, primitive aboriginal species. I'm not even convinced you're fully sapient.
That's rude, number one. Number two, we do have a couple of those technologically inclined people, but they usually keep their inventions to themselves, which is problematic on a number of levels, but also we're superheroes, so people give us a pass on
Don't you have a currency system with which to purchase such advancements from them, or cooperation?
We are, I'm not going to lie, we're still not great, but we're getting better. We like to believe that we're the best of all universes. So anyway, thanks for the cube. We'll definitely look into registration. You can leave now. Hey, Grav, why don't you let him go, and then wait, before we do that, are you guys gonna pay for the buildings you destroyed? Because if not, they're gonna try to make us pay for it.
Are you certain those weren't natural mineral structures? That's what our scans reported. Natural mineral structures, of course, the other one says. Very unusual ones, unlike anything we've seen before.
I don't think I believe you. We have criminals on this world that try stuff like that all the time. You're not fooling me. How about
How do you expect us to pay you?
Do you have gold or precious? Do you have gold or diamonds or platinum or rare earth minerals?
I'll send a communication to Opti and tell them to give us some of their tech.
He said, how much? In response to your first list of things.
$4.2 million. That sounds right, doesn't it?
They said that term did not translate properly. It sounded like you were measuring it in money.
400
grams?
Cubic kilograms of gold. I don't even know what that means. I'm just making up numbers.
Kilograms?
Optiverse is not, as you say, smart.
One of them goes over to a nearby console and starts tapping on it with different tentacles and things, and something comes to life, and there's a light that pops up, and what looks like a microwave dings, and the door swings open, and he just sort of like pulls out this kind of mesh bag. It's made out of some sort of, looks like plastic mesh, and inside there's a bunch of just various ingots of gold and what looks like diamonds and some other stuff. Walks over and hands it to you, and it's like really heavy.
All right, this should do. Thank you. We next time you're welcome. Just make sure to call and ask permission and not to destroy things first. Most things can be solved here with fruitful conversation and politeness.
Very well, but may we please speak to the Guardian? We have questions.
Sure. Grav, can you like let their ship go and then come talk to these guys? They're interested in you. No, I don't think they're gonna capture you though. Maybe you should just hold the ship down while they talk. And then I'll pass the communicator off to Grav.
Okay. So, yeah, just turn on the communicator. Yeah, I guess. And so the Optimist says you wish to talk to me.
Yes, you are a Guardian. Why are you?
Well, I'm a guardian of the people. Yeah.
How do you exist? Where have you been hiding here? Where are the rest of your kind? Why have you left?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm the only one of my kind I know of. Well, other than that guy we met last week.
They both sort of turn to each other, and you're not quite sure, but they're sharing a look of some kind of like, the hell is going on here kind of thing between them. They sort of turn back to you. You are the only one? There, you said there were two.
Well, there's this guy that kind of looks like me. He has same powers as I do that we met last week, but he's not me.
So you are truly destroyed. You are some remnant of a remnant. Mind lost and destroyed. How tragic. Very well. We will leave this place that you are protecting and not return. We have paid the mineral objects of value to these people as compensation for destroying their unusual natural mineral structures. But if you do make contact with your kind, well, I've been told that it has been rising in power. More systems have been falling. Billions of souls lost. But what is that to us, bounty hunters? We move about as we will. And these are distant places and far rumors. But these rumors carry with them pleas for the Guardians. Maybe you don't hear them. Maybe they're not real. Just rumors. But I suppose I will pass them along to you now. Maybe it means nothing to you, but you have the cube, and perhaps you can register your planet so you don't have to continue with this unauthorized law enforcement activity. And you should eject the chimp. You can't trust them. And I'm fairly certain the other one that looks much like the fugitive, it's probably going to turn out the same way.
Obo's one of us. I have nothing to fear there. You, on the other hand, yes, I will release your ship, but I'm going to escort you until you're out of our atmosphere.
Very well. We will trouble you no further, Guardian. Or, what should we call you if you are not a Guardian?
I am called Gravistar.
Gravistar, then. Very well. And it seems like they're getting ready to take off. They'll leave peacefully at this point if you allow them to.
Yeah, I'll let them take off. Like I said, I'll escort until they're out of the atmosphere.
While this is going on, I believe Astro Chimp had made some sort of a plea to like grab some of their technology or get them to give some over or something. But Opti made a deal for the valuables. Did anyone else want to follow up on any sort of tech stuff or do anything else with or about the aliens before they leave?
I've got that thing that he gave me, so I'm kind of peeking at it, but aside from that, I'm not really doing much.
I'm watching the conversation between Gravistar, the Optimist, and the aliens, and as Gravistar starts getting their ship up and running again, I just wave, bye!
And as you're all sort of heading on back down, you take a look, and there's all the police vehicles and emergency vehicles and some politicians and news vans showing up. How are you going to handle this?
Bye!
I don't know.
Yeah. We don't get to be the ones that just leave. We're the heroes.
Well, I'm already, bathing in the press's pictures and all stuff, and like shaking hands, giving autographs.
All right.
Sandra, here, have my autograph.
And reporters are asking you questions. What happened? What was that strange ship? Where did it go? Why did it attack? Why did it stop attacking? Etc. Like lots and lots of questions being thrown at you, rapid fire, from different directions.
Yeah, it's almost it's an alien invasion. Don't worry about it. They went away because we kicked their bums, and it gives them the signature Astro Chimp smile and tells them to buy Nutella at your local grocery store.
All right. Well, go ahead. And
Is that where we get our money from? Nutella funds us.
Sponsorship.
Just Astro Chimp. He's got a sponsorship with them. Astro Chimp, give me a charisma test, or if you have a social skill you'd like to use to, I guess, come off well on camera. Something like performance would work well, or even diplomacy, I guess.
Does my benefit status help here?
I should say so.
So I have 3 points in there. And I'll do a persuasion check. So it's going to be 17 plus 3, I think.
With a 20? Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe not your best so far. And one of the things is you don't really pick up on that your mention of an invasion, like the word invasion sort of starts to spread like wildfire through the crowd here, just sort of by whispered from one ear to another. And it's being picked up and retweeted and hashtagged and starts to go out amongst the social media. Alien invasion thwarted by the Justicars comes the headline. One ship attacked. What will be next? And
That's not going to bite us or anything.
so yeah, overall, the Justicars are viewed favorably, but there's a lot of general hubbub, and people are generally pretty nervous about it. There's lots of runs on canned goods and bottled water, and there's a fair bit of just nervous, panicked activity from people around the city. Nothing terrible, like nobody's killed. There's no major violence or anything, but things are maybe a bit turned upside down a little bit, and there's an official reprimand that comes from the mayor's office. Just it's in text. It's not like a major dressing down, but just something to the effect of carefully worded, like, please don't give me problems to deal with on top of the problems that you solve.
I'm gonna go fly to his. How much is in the bag? How like equivalent jewels in gold.
I don't know, probably several $1 million worth
Okay,
total.
well, I'm gonna fly to the mayor's office and do that kind of classic superhero thing where I just float outside of his window and tap on it, kind of like half smugly and half cheerfully, because I like that kind of thing.
The mayor turns and opens the window. Don't you people ever use doors?
Oh, come on. I know you like this. This is fun. We have a rapport. Well, at any rate, I do want to apologize.
Yes, I saw. You've been talking to lots of reporters.
That's why I like you. That's why we get along. We have something here. And since...
just come on and hurry up before...
Okay, I
seeing this posted up on YouTube.
In my head, the window's just slightly too small, and so I'm having to like squeeze in, and maybe my cape gets caught. I'm like, dang it, I shouldn't have wore the cape. I tend to wear the cape when I know I'm not going to be fighting a lot, but it does get in the way. Just hold on 1 second. I just take the cape off and then squeeze in the window.
I saw that in the movie. That one fashion designer lady. She said she made a pretty strong case for not using capes. Just to be careful around the jet engines, I suppose.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's ceremonial. Sometimes I wear it when I need to look extra, extra superhero-y.
Understand. Well, come on and have a seat. Would you like a drink? He's walking
sure.
over to his
What do you have?
bar and opening a decanter. He's got a fairly well-stocked, personal stash of various liquors here. So.
Let's see. Does Optimus drink?
He turns and says, "I don't remember. Do you drink?"
I don't either. Do you have any soda pop?
He reaches down and opens up a mini fridge and hands you a soda.
Ah, thanks.
Pours himself a couple of fingers of some sort of dark liquor. Hard to tell whether it's a brandy or whiskey from just looking at it here, but he just downs it and puts the glass back down and turns back around. All right, tell me about this alien invasion.
Okay. So, yeah, that's actually what I came to talk to you about. So here, and I just kind of toss him the money onto his desk. That should help with some of the repairs. That actually came from the aliens. The aliens.
What is this?
I don't know. It's
gold?
Like gold and stuff.
Jewels?
I didn't get like a real great count, but it should be enough to at least provide for rebuilding some of the buildings and things that were damaged. They say that they thought they were natural. I don't believe them, but I think they were trying to save face. So this wasn't an invasion. They're actually bounty hunters. And when we explained the situation, they backed off. So this is not a long-term threat, I believe. And also, by the way, if it was a long-term threat, I feel like we can handle it. So I just to put everybody's mind at ease, yours in particular, and to make sure that this money got into the right hands. You are the right hands, right? You're not one of those corrupt people that I hear about in other cities. Right.
He has sort of gone back to the mini bar and reopened the decanter and poured some more alcohol. He sort of switched around and looks up at you and just gives you this look. Opti, you've known me a long time. I'm a politician. Whether I'm corrupt, I think there are some points to which you and I might disagree, but no, I understand my values and I hold to them. Other people might not see it my way, but I do the best I can to take care of this city and do right by them. And I think you do as well.
Well, I have to be honest with you. Having superpowers means that I don't have to compromise nearly as often, and I don't judge people without superpowers for having to make compromises in order for people to get safe. So I'm not going to here to judge you. I just want to make sure that if I give you a couple $1 million, you're not just going to pocket that. And I take your word for it. That's fine.
So what I'm hearing is this isn't a campaign contribution.
We, the Justicars, and he pulls out this little card, do not endorse or promote any particular politician or party. And then he puts the card back in. So yeah, no, we can't do that, sorry.
He sort of swishes his glass under his nose for a moment and then downs it again and sets it down. All right.
So hey, what is that you're drinking?
Oh, it's scotch, and he mentions a kind of scotch that I don't know about, but I'm sure would be very good. Something that's like on the expensive side, but not super rare and expensive, but like still likely to be considered very good by people who know about scotch and like it.
Can I have some of that? I'm just to try. I know you've already offered me some, but I just changed my mind. I think I might try some.
He turns and says, very well. He pours you one, and he's about to pour himself another and says, I've got too much more to do today. I've got to speak to the press again yet.
Oh, that's fair. And I'll just drink it like I'm drinking a soda. And that's interesting. Yeah, I can see why you want to drink this stuff. Okay, well, I've got to go.
Hold on a moment. I'd like you to level with me if you would here, son.
Okay.
Is this trouble that's been coming to the city, all these incidents that have happened since we've instated the Justicars here?
Yeah, the Justicars
are they
for 5 years.
Are they being attracted here by the Justicars? Because I'd hate to think that it seemed like we have protectors when what we really have is a trouble magnet.
I don't know how to answer that for you, sir, other than to say probably not.
You know, well, that'll have to be good enough for now. Thanks for getting the UFO to stop shooting up the mall. I'll go smooth things over with the PR.
I appreciate that, sir. I'll be in touch if something like this comes up again, but I really doubt... well, you know, I can't say that with a straight face. I was going to say I really doubt that aliens are going to bother us again, but, you know... I just don't believe that. My friends tell me that they just had another recent run-in with aliens on the moon, so I don't really know that... Well, how about this, sir? How about you start preparing to be on the front lines of alien diplomacy, and when it happens, I'll put in a good word.
He sort of his eyes widen as if to reveal that he hadn't considered that possibility at all, and now he's starting to for the first time. And all right then, maybe I will have that third drink. And
yeah, go back to school and get another degree, and you know you could be whatever you want to when you grow up, sir. I'm gonna go out the window now. Or if you'd prefer, I can walk out the door, but honestly, it's not as fun.
He just sort of waves his hand as if like that's not something he wants to spend any mental energy thinking about right now.
All right, so I fly out the window, having done my errand.
All right, and there's a bunch of flashes of cameras taking pictures that you see
waves
down below us.
Definite waves and smiles. Maybe some light shows. And autographs if they want them.
So Astro Chimp is, I guess, fairly tied up in fairly quickly speaking to various different people sent from federal agencies to debrief about the first contact and all sorts of stuff. Are you actually are you going to be cooperating with them to a full extent, or not, or somewhere in between?
I'm not gonna tell them about that the aliens were here for Terror Chimp. Other than that, I'm gonna be mostly cooperating. Okay.
So you'll be tied up doing that for like days, probably, assuming that you don't just like run away from them. But I think you're the one that they mostly go to. But Gravistar as well. They ask all the questions of you since you boarded the craft and downed it with your gravity field abilities. They seem to be very interested in trying to get you to understand and maybe be able to explain and perhaps replicate these gravity abilities for purposes of future defense against other UFO attacks. So how are you handling this attention?
Well, yeah, I'll talk theory with them all they want. I mean, it's a little hard to replicate my powers via technological means, but I'll explain to them the theories behind it so they can pursue it.
Yeah, there'll be a few different panels where there's some guys and gals in suits down in the lab with Gravisar, and he's doing some stuff, and they're taking some measurements and doing some discussions. And Core, you had awoken back in the clinic, a bit of a panic when you realized that you'd left your silver branch behind. But when you looked and saw, it was like when you felt for it, it was just right under your hand. When you had awakened back in the clinic, you'd been knocked unconscious during the previous combat. So you'd actually missed most of the action with the alien attack, though you spent a fair bit of time recovering here, and you've met Sue, of course. And again, Sue's been described as a T-Rex. She's kind of like a mutant T-Rex, right? Imagine if a human form could transform into a T-Rex form, like this classic like Animorphs books, right? Somewhere like halfway in between, where she's kind of a T-Rex but more humanoid, but still has really tiny arms and is really, really big. And that's why she wears a harness that has other robotic arms and apparatus that she controls with her little arms, with these little joysticks on her chest.
Cool. I have lots of questions for Sue as I wake up.
Okay, I don't think she was necessarily right there when you woke up,
Okay.
But she was hired a little bit after, and she's helped you out. But yeah, you have time to get to know Sue a little bit.
Good. Other than that, I focus on healing. I do disappear for a day to get that fresh air, and I come back seemingly fully healed. Even though before I was still a little banged up and bruised, so I'm back to normal and feeling good and ready to save the world.
All right, either you've been hanging around with the HQ. What have you been up to? I imagine you've been approached to ask questions, but for the most part, they focused on Gravistar and Astrochimp, and not as much on you, as you're not sort of a registered scientist type person.
Yeah, Aether would also try to stay away from the press. That's not really her thing. So like anytime she'd be questioned, she'd pretty much be like, bye. Like just trying to avoid them and gear them towards, like steer them over towards the others.
And that might otherwise be difficult, except that you've got these other party members who are completely willing to just step in and like soak up the spotlight. And draw the attention, so you can kind of slip away under their shadow, so to speak. And
I still have that cube, so I have that. I'm kind of, I guess, I've been checking it out. I don't know a lot about technology and stuff, so.
Do you have a technology skill?
I do, but it's not very good. Remember, all my rolls are not the best.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a technology skill check, as you have some time to kind of check over this cube and mull it over and examine it.
Oops, I was touch talk. But yeah, give me just a second to pull that up.
I suppose the other question is whether or not you think you ought to turn that cube over to the feds.
I got a 12.
Okay, 12's not gonna cut it exactly. You figure out that by touching it in different spots, it's got sort of different textures. It's kind of a smooth, almost like a stone-like surface. And when you touch it, different things will glow and light will pulse in different spots, and sometimes it'll project like a hologram of a few bright dots here and there that look like they might be like a 3D star map or a constellation or something. And then you try to get it to do something, and it rotates and drops down, and then at one point, like this loud just face pops up and starts yelling something, and you think you did something and set off an alarm, but then like these other like symbols start popping up and around, and like these like different canned objects appear and swirl out. You realize that you're watching an advertisement, and then it disappears. and then the star map pops up again. You have no idea what you're doing with this thing.
When that thing started, like everything popping out, I was gonna try to grab like some sort of bowl or something to cover it with really quick, just to. But no.
Yeah, at
this
first,
point,
yeah, again, it sounded like you were yelling. You put the bowl over. It's like here and.
So it was like peek under the bowl, and then just like, oh, all right. But no, I'm basically by myself with it for a while because I'm waiting for either Gravistar or Astrochimp to make themselves available so that I can kind of be like, hey, what's this?
Okay, so we'll say you're just kind of kicking it in the control room, sort of the big comm room that you have in your HQ with huge monitors and where messages come through and police scanners are always running. All the superhero HQs have one of those, right? So you're hanging out in there when you see a like an urgent call come through. It looks like it's like a direct comm line from the police office.
I'm gonna put that bowl over the cube, and then I'm gonna go over and answer it.
Okay, you sort of put the bowl over the silent floating stars, and it does cover up the hologram so it doesn't project beyond the bowl. And you hit the button, and you see the face of a police officer, and she sort of steps in without preamble and says, "Justicars, we have an unusual robbery that we need some assistance with. We believe that the criminals have used techniques outside of what our forensics are capable of detecting and prosecuting, and I've been asked to bring you in on this."
Is anybody else around, or is it just me?
Oh, the others are probably all around the HQ in various spots, or maybe I don't know. Astrochimp might be on the moon or something. Who knows? But right now, you're the only person in the control room at the HQ. You think you hear Opti humming something in the next room. I don't know.
Is there a button or something I can push to get people to come over where I'm at?
Oh yeah, there's a whole intercom system and everything. You know how to work it.
Okay, yeah, I'll use the intercom and just kind of be like, "Hey guys, we got a call from the sheriff's station."
Yep, you guys hear a little and her voice come over the intercom, and poof, you've all assembled in the control room. The next panel over, and you're being filled in that there has been a theft at the let's see. Should I get this right? What did I name this? Oh, the Proudhaven Public Museum. That's what I called it. There have been artifacts taken from there, and there appears to be... The police have no leads or evidence, and they're asking you to please report discreetly to the Proudhaven Public Museum to see if you can figure out what happened. There will be the relevant personnel will be made available to you there if you're able to arrive soon. If not, let them know and they can detain them at the police station and you can meet them there.
We can meet down there, I think.
All right, the Proudhaven Public Museum is one of those big, sort of austere looking buildings with large pillars in the front, and they have it's a museum that covers a wide range of topics from natural history to some technology and astronomy. They have a planetarium. It's a pretty big place, but not like a huge campus of a museum. A popular location, mostly subsidized by the Proudhaven city, and so it's fairly inexpensive to get in. It's a popular place, and normally fairly busy, but right now it's currently shut down, and police are actually they have the place roped off, and they're not allowing visitors in. There are some reporters there who seem to want to approach you, but I guess how are you arriving? Going to take the Justicars? Are you going to arrive by personal jetpacks and such, or or take the Justicar.
I'll just fly.
Yeah, it's close enough. I figured I'd fly under my own power.
Okay, so when you're all arriving,
Do we all just
through your
floating?
various personal vehicles or personal flying abilities or super suits or gravity manipulation, whatever the case may be, reporters are certainly like trying to get your attention and bring you down over and ask you questions. Are any of you approaching the reporters?
Yeah.
Okay, so you all see Astrochimp veer off to the reporters, and they give some people in the crowd give off a cheer, and reporters asking, "What happened? What was taken from the museum? Believe this is the work of Monarch."
Well, now, citizens, everybody should stay calm. We are working on this, and when we have anything, we'll let you know.
There be more aliens coming. I don't know. Have you ever been abducted by etc.? Just lots of different questions. Some of them are related to the current situation. Other ones are follow-up questions about your recent alien experience. But yeah, they're definitely not satisfied as you fly past. But the police are keeping them back a good distance, and you're able to fly down, and you are greeted by Museum Director Dr. Anna Tamarin. Let's see. Opti, you've probably... Actually, let's say, out of all of you, are any of you likely to be personally familiar at all with the director of the public museum?
I feel like Opti likes the museum enough.
Yeah.
Probably don't know her very well, but you might have done some public events or something with, like some fundraiser or, something for kids or something.
Yeah, Miss Tamarind. How are you?
Dr. Tamarin.
Dr.
It's
Tamarind.
nice to see you again, Optimist.
As you as well. I remember very much liking the ancient Egyptian exhibit the last time I was here.
Her eyes go a bit wide. Oh, my. Well. And she turns to Cora and says, "It's good to see you again. It will be nice to have you back for another one of our animals exhibits. Your shape-shifting ability was quite popular with the children."
Oh, of course. I'm happy to help anytime.
Let me lead you inside here. This is a bit of a sensitive matter, though. The fact that there has been a robbery has certainly gotten out, and then she sort of looks past you all, and you see that a car is driven up, and a man is getting out, and a woman has gotten out and is approaching the police, and she's, "We better get inside. We may not have much time before things get more complicated. Come with me." And she sort of briskly walks back into the building. Dr. Tamarin is a woman in her late 30s. Opti, you know her as a devoted civil servant. She works really hard to keep the Proudhaven public museum fully funded, despite constant threats of budget cuts. She works tireless hours doing fundraisers and special events to make sure that the museum is both just an interesting place that people can learn from, and that it keeps going and just doesn't get fall along the wayside and become something lost and forgotten. And it's mostly through her personal efforts and charisma and just the amount of time that she puts in that the Proudhaven Public Museum is what it is now.
I love these long-serving people that just do still, small, mundane awesomeness. And I tell her so. I just really appreciate your still, small, mundane awesomeness.
Okay.
That sounded really condescending now that I said it out loud. Like, hey, you little people are great.
Yeah, your lips get kind of really thin there after you say that, and she's thank
Captain
you.
Hammer moment.
I think Opti has no chill. I don't know why I'm finding this so hard to play him as the straight guy, but like he's just an idiot.
And she leads you inside, and you see the big dinosaur bones as you enter in, and there's this huge open area with the leads you to the right and down a hallway into an office, and you actually pass another office. You can see, like, in through a window, there's a couple of nervous-looking security guards in uniform, just like sitting there and across from a table and looking guilty. And she leads you past them and into an office there, and brings you on in and says, "All right, I'd offer you coffee or something, but I better get right into it. That person who was just pulling up, you may not have seen, is Dr. Mubarak, and I'm not sure how long I can stall her. You see, the Egyptian exhibit has been stolen."
Stolen?
Oh, that makes more sense now. I
Whole exhibit.
I thought her reaction when I said that was a little bit off. I was like, man, who froze her coffee this morning? But, like, yeah, that makes sense now. I say, I like the Egyptian bits. And she's like,
Well, not the whole exhibit, but you may have heard of the exhibit that we had arrive 2 weeks ago from Egypt itself. Actually, it was quite a diplomatic coup, considering relations between our countries, but and the history of past history of some museums and well, let's say many museums, and how they've dealt with Egypt in the early 20th century. And I don't have time to go into this. Well, what I should say is that if you'd heard of the tomb of the unknown pharaoh, well, much of that has been brought here for exhibit and study, and Dr. Salman Mubarak, an Egyptian Egyptologist, has come to assist and oversee and educate, and it's been just wonderful. But it's all of that's been stolen. The sarcophagus, the mummy, all of the various effects from the tomb. I, of course, have full information and documentation of what has been taken, but it's a disaster, an absolute disaster. This is going to look bad on the museum, on me personally, on the good people of Proudhaven, and on our country. Perhaps even the field itself. Just the idea of things like this being sent around the world again for others to see up close is just... It's all in jeopardy. I need your help. The security guards that were on duty are in the next room. I'm not sure if they were involved or not, but I suspect it must have been an inside job, because no alarms were tripped. The cameras were completely wiped. Nothing, just gone.
Asher Shimp is gonna go and put like a very friendly, like, hand on her shoulder or back, and say, and give her a very concerned look and say, "This is a crime against science and public education." And then he like takes out his little gadget stuff and he gets right on it.
She turns to Opti and says, "Please, this is not a small problem." And I'm sorry, Cor. Go ahead.
Cor will also turn into immediately at like hearing this. Her eyes get wide, and they start to droop, and she immediately turns into a bloodhound and starts sniffing the scene for any.
Okay. She looks down. That's lovely. Would you like to speak to the security guards now, or look at the scene? You have full access to the facility, and then there's a little bit of a buzz in the intercom system. She presses it. Yes. This is Officer Rains. We have Dr. Mubarak here. She says that she has access to the location. Yes, let her in. She turns to you and says, "I have to go. Just please, get me something I can tell Dr. Mubarak, at least. Give me some sort of hope."
Hey, that's our specialty. We'll absolutely take care of this for you. to the best of our
All right.
ability. And I'm sorry for making it awkward earlier. I really did like the Egypt stuff.
She nods and says, I know you mean well. Please, I must go. And she actually just steps out and starts briskly walking, obviously meaning to intercept Dr. Mubarak before she gets very far in the building.
That lady's very nice, but she needs to learn to unwind. Perhaps Gravistar... well, never mind. How should we go about this?
Chimp is already creating a device. You see him in this time bubble being all blurry.
Cora's sniffing everything, trying to get a lead or a trail on who might have been here.
Okay, well, you're not really anywhere near the part of the building where the ancient Egypt exhibit area is, so you probably want to go there if you want to sniff around for clues.
Well, then off I go.
I was gonna say I'm gonna go investigate as well and just see kind of what everything looks like.
So I think one or two of us should probably go talk to the guards while the rest of us are investigating the scene.
So Optimist and Gravistar talking to guards, Core and Ether going to investigate the scene. Astro Chimp is making a doodad. What are you planning on doing?
Alright, so I'm gonna add a whole bunch of sense powers to my already enhanced senses, so I don't miss anything.
Right, go ahead and give us a list.
Alright, so I'm adding penetrates concealment and microscopic vision. I think that's about it.
Okay, penetrates concealment and microscopic vision. Got it. And you're checking out the scene then with Core and Ether?
Yeah, I got like a kind of like a really sci-fi looking monocle.
And Core is padding along as a bloodhound. Ether moving along. Are you wearing your body at the moment?
Yeah, I've got my body in the power armor that was built by Astro Chimp, and so I'm just kind of walking around because if I'm not in my body, I can't really communicate super well. So
you move past the giant dinosaur skeleton and kind of up to the second level on the far left side, and head on past where there's even more police tape, and a couple of guards are stationed there. They sort of nod and wave and make no effort to hinder your passage, and you head on into the kind of a darkly lit Egyptian exhibit area, which, well, when you start looking around, it seems a bit more bare than you'd expect. It doesn't have the area, the look of a place that's been ransacked. It's just a lot of stuff is missing. A lot of negative space. There's some of the usual sort of resident exhibit stuff is here untouched, but yeah, other than the placards that point out the mummy and sarcophagus of the unknown pharaoh, and a few different placards to point out and talk about different objects and where they were found, and just all the actual physical material from that exhibit is just not there. So you start to look around the area. I guess, Sarah, with your or Core, I should say, with your abilities, what sort of senses do you have beyond the normal ones? Do you have anything like special regarding the ability to detect anything beyond normal sights and smells and sounds?
My senses are extended. Low light vision, olfactory is very acute, extended, and
Okay, so give me a perception test based on your olfactory senses. 'Cause there's not much to see here just by looking around. It's pretty clean.
Okay.
as you're doing that, Whitney, what is Ether doing to investigate the scene?
So it looks. I'm assuming it looks like then people took their time taking stuff, right?
I mean, they didn't make a mess. It's hard to tell how much time they took. There's a security record of when. Actually, no, you guys didn't get that information yet, so never mind. I shouldn't be giving you that. But yeah, you looking around, you realize you don't know how long it took them, or how they even got in, or how they got the stuff out. It's just gone pretty cleanly. Maybe you'd assume they were fairly fast about it because there's got to be guards here or something, right? But
I have a 25.
It's pretty clean. A 25 total on your perception test to smell. Okay, so you do, I guess, pick up on some residual traces of some odors. They're not of any people that you recognize or that has smelled before, but you've picked up a few different scents that if you were to smell them again, you would recognize them. Unfortunately, that's the best you can do right now. You kind of track around the area in some, and you actually find that their trail leads deeper into the exhibit and sort of dead ends at a wall.
Sorry.
I start growling at that wall.
All right.
And chuffing. And I have drool hanging down because bloodhound.
And Ether?
I guess I was going to do something else, but if I see her going towards that wall and growling and stuff, I'm going to go over and take a look at the wall.
Okay. It's a fairly nondescript wall. I mean, it's got some, part of it has a little part of a display where they just have some text hanging up that's meant to look like papyrus. Maybe it is. But Astro Chimp, as they've been doing this, how have you been investigating? What sort of senses beyond the normal have you been using?
All right, so I have enhanced this senses as it is. I can see perfectly fine in the dark, analytical vision, and all that. And on top of that, I can, with my microscopic vision and penetrate concealment, I can see things to an atomic scale and just see through anything that might be hiding. So I'm just kind of very carefully and scientifically scouring the whole place, making sure I don't miss a single inch.
Give me a perception test then.
Single atomic inch. Got 31.
Yeah, with the 31, you start to... it looks just from the naked eye, so to speak, the normal naked eye, that this place is clean of evidence or signs, but to look more closely. And you find signs of things and scuffs around and different scrapes and whatnot. And you're able to more or less piece together that apparently the sarcophagus itself was lifted up and put up on a dolly or something. And some stuff was grabbed and moved around. But just judging by just sort of micro... what's the word I'm looking for? Micro abrasions and things like that in the floor and the walls and on the exhibits and things. You're able to ascertain that some people came in here, they grabbed a bunch of stuff and they left. And it looks like they came and went through that wall that Core has focused on.
Can I? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
As far as you can tell, it leads away from and back to that spot.
Did I see any evidence of superpowers?
Not that you could pick up or tell. I mean, there's no residual energy signs that you're detecting with your senses, at least. That said, there's lots of different potential kinds of energy that you aren't set up to scan for.
All right.
With that, we were going to cut to the office where you guys sort of open up. There's a small break room, actually, with a few vending machines and one of those tables that you can sort of fold up and set down. It's kind of like a giant folding picnic table thing, but made up mostly plastic and metal. And the two security guards who are still in uniform kind of start and look up at you. They both look like they're kind of older guys, like maybe in their late 30s, early 40s. One of them's white. The other one's looks like a maybe Middle Eastern or something. And they look up at you, and yeah, they both look like they're really nervous. They're obviously nervous and afraid.
Right.
I shake their hand. Hello, fellas.
They sort of stand up and shake their hand. Oh, hello. We're in big trouble, aren't we?
I don't think so.
And the other one says, "We don't know what happened. There was no sign of anything. They think we did it, don't they? I would think we did it if I were them." And the first one's like, "Calm down.
Yes, don't fret. No one's accusing anyone. We just need to know as much information as we can. Is there some sort of security log or something?"
They both turn to each other and says, "Yes, we take logs." One of them, they each sort of take out a pad of paper that they have various different writings on. It's a little, I guess, graph paper with time markings and locations and things. And it's there's a few different notes about a temperature taken here or there, the humidity level jotted down of this particular exhibit, and things like that. And it just looks like a normal security log of doing their rounds and checking on things, and nothing seems unusual or out of place. And one says, "This here," he points to an entry in his log. I was on patrol during that time, and this one, the white guy, he introduced himself as Roger Tanner, and he says, I was at the exhibit. I checked things over. See, I took the humidity readings here. We always do that, humidity and temperature readings on things to make sure everything's working properly. It's not just about keeping the kids out. We're going to smash things and vandalize the place. It's we do a lot more than just security, so to speak. We help run the place, kind of. But yeah, that's when I saw it, and then it was what was it? And he turns over to Patel, and the other one, the Indian guy, says, "Yeah, I was on my patrol here." He points to his entry in the log an hour later, and that's when I went on my rounds, and I walked in, and it's I'm sure as you see it, minus the additional security here. And then we called Dr. Tamarin immediately, and here we are. We've looked over the security footage, and it's been wiped from this time. He flips over to a different page where he took notes from this time to this time. We can show you on the system, but Dr. Tamarin, I think she suspects us. She's been rather cold and told us to stay here, that the police would come and talk to us. I think," and the other one says, "Yeah, I think he's right. I think she does suspect us, but we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't see or hear anything. It's like it just disappeared." And I guess, do you have any sort of let's see, what would be the skill for detecting lies? Is insight, I believe, right?
I do have insight, yes.
So go ahead and give me a roll for that. And Kravistar, you could make this check as well, because they're sort of speaking to them. Opti's been sort of taking the lead on the interrogation, I guess. But is there 14 on that, Opti?
One of my best skills, and I get this awful 14.
They seem pretty earnest to you. You really kind of feel for them. They're afraid, and they care about what happens here. And you've actually seen them around here before, and a few times you visited or done things that involved the museum, helping with one fundraising effort or another, and they seem like stand up guys who are actually there to do a good job, as far as you can tell, but you really don't know them very well. Gravistar, with your insight check as well, you're fairly certain, looking at things a bit more scientifically, taking a look at their body language and different nervous tics and how they're behaving and acting. They don't seem like they're lying. If they're giving you a false testimony here, it's probably not intentional. Either they weren't involved, you don't think, or they were used and aren't aware of their involvement.
Listen, we believe you, gentlemen. But I don't suppose is there anybody else in the museum at the time? Do you know?
Coffee in my eyeball. That's not good.
You're doing it wrong.
It sucks.
I've never done that before, okay? I just thought, hey, eyeball, more direct, caffeine gets in there. Okay. Where was I?
He's awake now, though.
Distracted by coffee in my eyeball.
That's the fastest way to wake up from coffee. Like, if you just drop it in like eye drops.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
remember that for Gen Con.
Let's not start that, right? That'll be like the next Tide Pod challenge. Kids pouring coffee in their eyeballs because they saw it on the Justicars.
Coffee eyes.
All right. Sorry, I really did lose my place there. That was very distracting.
I asked him, is anybody else at the museum at the time?
Yes,
Or for that matter, does anybody else have access?
The answer quickly says, no, the museum was closed. There's 2 guards on duty on the night shift, and it's usually us. Of course, the other guards would have keys, but access would have been logged. They weren't seen coming or going. And I'm not sure. The police are probably checking into some of the other personnel, but we don't have any other information about that. Of course, Dr. Mubarak has access to the place as a guest, access to the exhibit, and then the one Patel turns this, I bet you that's it. That Egyptologist from Egypt. She's always going on about how museums have been, raiding other cultures and things, and that it should be, dealt with in a sort of proper way. And talking about how she probably doesn't like it traveling around the world again and wants all the Egypt stuff to stay back in Egypt. I bet you she hired someone to pull this off. And the other one says, I don't know. She seems really nice, but you've got a point there.
Internally, Opti starts thinking like he has never actually thought about it like that. Like all the Egypt stuff probably should stay in Egypt. I wonder if it's like on loan, or like if this is all like okay, because I know that some pieces of antiquity have like been taken against the will of the origin countries. Maybe that's I don't know how I feel about that. Like, what if she turns out to be the thief? Like, I'd be conflicted. But that's all internal monologue.
Okay. That's I guess about all you can get from them. They of course have information about what was stolen, the inventory with pictures and everything. Everything's well documented. I mean, you can actually even see camera footage right up until about 10 minutes after Officer Tanner checked the area and left, and then it just sort of cuts out. It's just blank. Like, all the cameras throughout the entire museum go blank at that moment, and they come back online, so to speak, or the recordings pick up again about 20 minutes later.
Yeah, what time was this?
I didn't mention times here. This was about like 4 in the morning.
Okay, and it went off for 20 minutes.
Yep, and the guards, if you asked them about that, they said they didn't notice anything up with the cameras. Let's see, at that point, Patel or Tanner, depending on the moment, would have been the one in the guard room, and they can show you the equipment if you sort of give them permission to leave the room, and they can start escorting you over there. They can, we can show you the logs and everything, the security room and everything. But yeah, the short of it is that everything seemed to be fine. I mean, it looked like the cameras were working the whole night. We didn't notice any outage like that. You'd think we would have noticed something, right? And we didn't notice people stealing stuff in the room. It looked just like it looked normally till Patel found it on his rounds.
So it looks like we have a time, anyway.
Yeah, and I guess with that, they're starting to escort you out to the place. You can hear a raised voice. Sounds like a woman's voice with some sort of a thick accent, kind of echoing out in the hall where there's the giant dinosaur bones. Just tell me what's going on, Dr. Tamarin. No one's telling me anything, and I have a bad feeling about this. And you see Dr. Tamarin is there, and she's talking to the other woman that you'd seen getting out of the car outside, who must be Dr. Mubarak, who definitely has sort of a Middle Eastern look about her. As far as skin tone and appearance and such, and she apparently is a bit agitated and maybe a bit angry at Dr. Tamarin, but she's not like just trying to bowl over her. They're sort of tensely facing off, and you can tell like Dr. Tamarin's conflicted. She doesn't really want to be in this position. Listen, I don't know how else to put it. It was, please, come with me to my office. We can talk about this. And Dr. Bark says, oh no, it does have to do with the exhibit, doesn't it? And Dr. Tamarin says, now just calm down. And you can see this is all sort of going on as you guys are walking outside. They're sort of turning to see you, and maybe Dr. Mubarak is doing a bit of a kind of a double take, but they're mostly focused on their interaction. So it's up to you whether you want to step in and get involved or just let them do what they're going to do. I'm not going to continue role-playing their conversation with each other unless you're going to get involved, though.
I just want to interrupt for just a second. It's like, hey, excuse me, doctor. Can I have access to the security system? I'd like to take a more in-depth look at that.
And Dr. Tamarin turns and says, yes, of course. And she looks over at the guards and says, that's what we're doing, ma'am. Taking them to the security room. She gives them a curt nod and turns back to Dr. Mubarak. Come along with me. You're going to want a drink. I'm not trying to stonewall you here. Trust me, I promise. It's just, well, let's go talk. And Dr. Mubarak nods and says, all right, but you'd better explain everything. And they start going off to, presumably to her office as you head out to check out the security system. Ultimately, when you look over the security system, I guess give me a technology check, or how else are you going to check it over? It's a bit of an antiquated computer system hooked up to all sorts of different cameras and sensor devices. A lot of them are giving different readings off of different exhibits, and there's a whole bank of them that are like showing, giving error readings. Apparently they're giving correct readings on what's going on in the Egyptian exhibit now.
Yeah, like I said, definitely want to check into it. Biggest thing I'm looking for is see if it was, if I can detect any type of alterations during the break-in. I got 24 on my technology check.
Okay, doing your technology check, you're looking things over. You can find where there's a blank spot and the camera records, but there aren't any really big overt signs of hacking. You do find a few subtle cues here and there. Whoever did this job was really, really good at it and covered the tracks extremely well. They They erased a lot of their signs of what they did. They didn't leave behind any signature code that you could use to trace them with. You can ascertain with certainty that this system has absolutely been hacked. And you can point to things besides just that there's missing stuff from there. Like, you don't think it was the security guards messing around with it. Like, there wasn't someone who had legitimate access, is what I'm saying. Somebody broke in through, various different, computer hacking techniques. And you're able to tell some of the signs of that. But that's just the confirmation of that is the best you can do.
Well, good enough. That in itself is a lot of information.
Oh, and you can prove it as well, by the way. So, I'm not saying this particular computer technobabble that would apply, but you can back it up. And I think at this point we might want to consider taking our midpoint break, or do we want to wait a little longer?
No, that sounds good.
You can do that.
Yep.
All right. Hope you guys are enjoying your first bit of an investigation mission here. Not throwing you into combat for once, at least not right away. Well, we'll see. You can always pick a fight with the guards, I guess. That'd be over quick, though.
All right, then we'll see everybody back here in about 10 minutes.
Minutes. All right.
Cool.
And we're back, everybody. Thanks for your patience.
Yeah. When last we left off, our heroes were investigating a mysterious theft at the Proudhaven Public Museum from the Egyptian exhibit, an actual visiting exhibit within there. Apparently a mummy and a sarcophagus and a bunch of different artifacts that went along with it, all relating to something called the Unknown Pharaoh. You've interviewed the guards. You've ascertained that the security system was hacked. You investigated the location and determined that they seem to have come out of and left back through a wall. And after some time, while you're checking it over, I'll give you this information for free. You can figure out that there's absolutely no secret door or other room or any place for them to have gone through the wall. Like, you cannot find any way you cannot find using any of the sensors that you at least had access to at that time, or at least told me about, that can tell you anything about how they possibly came in and out through that wall. And this is also on the second story, by the way.
Oh, go ahead.
I have my normal intelligence when I transform, right?
I believe so, unless it's a particular drawback you built into the power. I don't remember anything.
No, I don't think so. I think it's all physical. So as they're testing out that wall space, I'm going to look up at the ceiling and see if like there's a window or glass or something that they might have disappeared through.
This area is dark and enclosed. They don't want direct sunlight on a lot of the ancient items in here. And it also has more of like a dark tombey vibe, because it's an Egyptian exhibit. So it's pretty enclosed here. You find little that you can find to explain this situation.
Can I sit down and then leave my body and go through that wall and see what's on the other side?
Yeah, you find the outdoors.
Okay, there's nothing on the other side that looks weird to me?
Nope, you can't find anything weird or out of place. Do you have any sort of special senses while you're ghostly that you should mention?
Let me check. I mean, I can do an investigation if you want me to do that, but I don't really see any special senses of where I could like see anything residual.
Okay, then. Yeah, that's all you get. You just confirm, yep, it just goes outside. Maybe they had something they could pull up against the wall and phase through somehow that you can't detect. Who knows? You have no idea. Maybe it's better not to form suggestions. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be giving you suggestions as the GM. That's not very nice of me. Either I'm leading you towards a solution or giving you a red herring.
Okay, I'm gonna go back through and jump back into my body.
Okay. You find yourself back in your body.
Yeah, there's nothing over there.
As your astral form goes back into your body, and just before you sit up, there's a flash of something. You have a vision of the moments just before you became separated from your original body. And we're going to do a comic book flashback. Just go ahead and describe in just a few sentences and a few moments, like the situation that you're in, a couple of lines of dialogue or something, and the last thing that you remember when you had a body of your own.
Being in a lab where we were breaking in and trying to take this device with this technology that I didn't know much about. And
who are you with?
I was with the old gang I used to run with.
Let's see, and they were called the Scarlet Ravens?
Yeah.
Yep, and one of them has called out to you. Which way is it? I thought you knew where we were going to be going in here.
I didn't plan this. I don't know where we're going.
Yeah, but you did the legwork. Come on.
I guess we're going to go right. I don't know.
Okay, so you're heading out right and turn right, and you find yourself opening, like there's these sliding doors, more and bigger equipment, these things that look like these pods that people might lay down in and hook up all kinds of medical stuff to in readings, but no people in there. And suddenly that's the last thing you remember. And then you were, it was sometime later, and you were floating as a ghost outside of your own body. And that was the last time you saw your own body. You don't know what happened to it. And you just, there's a flash of that as you remember that. And we take a moment to fill the audience in on the bit of your backstory as an ether sits up. And that was a pretty vivid flash, though. That seemed like just a strong remembrance all of a sudden.
Yeah, in that case, like, she'll take a few moments to kind of snap out of that, and then try to get back into what they were doing, what was currently going on.
Okay, Astro Chimp and Core, you two notice Ether sort of sitting up, and then, yeah, it looks like she's taking a moment. She seems shaken.
I'm gonna change back into my original form. And you said we're in the darkened room, right? The tomb?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'll kind of kneel next to her. Are you all right?
Yeah, I just got a little bit of, I don't know, deja vu or something. It's not bad. I'm fine.
You sure you don't need a shot of this? And he takes out one of his massive syringes.
Astro, pitch it away.
Okay. Puts it back.
Ooh, did we have someone just take the stream boss?
Nope. That was me making a mistake. Carry on.
Okay. We should take a moment to talk about the stream boss, maybe. We haven't really mentioned it yet, have we? We're really bad at shilling for money on our own show, aren't we? Hey, you could support the Shadowcasters Network by cheering or through the donation link down below, and I think that all just sort of adds to defeating the stream boss, which is just basically it's a meter that you take the hit points off, so to speak, doing the donations with. And if you're the one to cause it to run out of points, you become the next stream boss, which means your name goes up there with a number after it, and you're the people they're gunning after in that sense. And the other thing is, though, you get to give a hero point to me or one of the players.
Or you could use it yourself to create a complication, which is basically
I like that one.
Yeah, you add to the scene. You just do something crazy one time. Well, what was it last time? Astro Chimp got a doppelganger, and that was the chat. So yeah, for free. What I was doing when I messed it up was I was actually making it easier. And so instead of being 750 points, now the stream boss is only 300 points, and your donations actually go a little bit further. So that's what I was doing.
Nice. Awesome. Yes. Well, please do that if you feel like it. We would love it, and it supports us doing the show, and gives us good feels about people supporting the show, I guess. But also, giving the GM hero points or adding complications is always lots of fun. So
it's about a penny per bit or 100 points for $1. So it's about $3 to defeat the stream boss. Or a subscriber will almost completely defeat the stream boss, and a follower will get us a third of the way.
While we're still kind of in commercial mode here, I also want to take a moment to ask Sarah to just very briefly talk about the big thing that's going on with Kickstarter and her and some of us.
Yeah, the Kickstarter is live. It has been live for just over a week. We are at 46% funded, which is super exciting, but we still have a ways to go, so check us out. We're on Facebook and Twitter at Rem Alternys and Rem Alternys Productions. And yeah, it's going super well. I've got some awesome helpers. We're going to be doing a live stream Q&A next week with, I think Bobby's going to be running it. So that should be fun. I had my first interview today, so there's a link on Facebook and Twitter to that. That was really cool. And gosh, it's been really exciting. So check us out and support us if you can. That'd be great.
Yeah, and feel free to drop that link in the chat here. We won't mind.
That's a good idea.
Thanks for the donation, Palmer. That puts the halfway down. I think Macchiato said they'd done something about subscribing and didn't defeat the stream boss. I think that was while it was being set up. So let's give them a freebie.
Yes, sure. Let's do.
So Macchiato, do the thing. Hero point for me, hero point for a player, or a complication of some kind. Feel free to throw that in the chat, and we'll carry on in the meantime. I'll work it in as soon as I can. Okay. Let's see. Where were we? Oh, yes. Opti, and you're mainly hanging around, and while Gravistar is checking things over and finding evidence of computer hacking and confirming it, you're able to chat some more with the guards, who seem to open up and seem nice and friendly enough, and hey, you get the sense that these guys wouldn't do anything to endanger the museum in any way willingly. They're very concerned. They almost seem more concerned about you finding what's missing than about their potential fate and being implicated in the investigation. So as far as you can tell, they're on the up and up. But you're finishing up with them, and Gravistar has just finished up with the computer. As far as you can tell, that's about all the clues you can get so far from here. Unfortunately, there aren't any solid leads. Maybe the other heroes, the other Justicars, have found something. And you Justicars, you're finishing up, I guess, in this place. You're not quite sure where they would have gone. Maybe checking out this, looking through the wall and whatever, considering maybe checking in with the others to see what they might have found from the guards or the logs or something. And again, that's where when you hear the click clack of echoing feet walking into the mostly black room that's lit with dim indirect lighting here. The very vacant exhibit, and this Middle Eastern lady, looks like she's in her 30s or so, walks in, is fairly well dressed. She looks a bit distraught and looks around and just holds up her hands and just looks like she's about to cry. And just says, "No," and then lets off this long, sort of drawn out sentence in a language you probably don't understand.
I'll go up to her and... Are you all right?
Oh, no. This is... You are here, one of the Justicars. I am Dr. Mubarak, Dr. Salman Mubarak. I am, I suppose as they say, an Egyptologist from Egypt. I have come with an exhibit from my country, almost an olive branch, as it were, out to the world once again that has pillaged the legacy of my country, but once more it is disaster. It's all taken. You, please tell me, you can fix this. You can find it. The sarcophagus, the mummy, and she starts to list off the different items that have been taken. They're not just of cultural significance. They're still being studied. That was the significant point of me pushing this initiative to get minds from around the world to look at this. And this is the first. It's a disaster, and it's Dr. Tamarin. She's tried so hard to do well through this, and it's going to reflect so poorly on her as well. And please tell me you've got something. What has been done? How has this been taken?
No worries.
At that time, also Opti and the Optimist and the Gravistar are sort of walking up in this area. So the whole team is getting back together. But sorry, it was Core was talking. Yeah. Please continue.
As she's kind of going on her long upset rant here, I'm gonna just step in and give her a big hug and say, "No worries, the Justicars are here. We'll make it right."
All right, give me some sort of a charisma test or diplomacy or a different skill if you think another one is appropriate.
We're gonna avoid deception.
I mean, it might be appropriate if you're telling her things are going to be all right, because you really don't have any leads right now.
Yeah, but I truly believe that they will. We're gonna do persuasion.
Okay, fair enough. That sounds good. Persuade her that you've got this, and
I
she
have a
doesn't
plus
have to
18
worry.
to that, so that sounds pretty good.
Oh my, you're probably very convincing.
Well, with my 7, I'm still at, what is that, 25.
25, yeah, that's pretty significant. She sort of looks up at you and nods, and you can sense her, you can almost just sense her placing the burden of all of this and her trust, taking it off of herself and placing it on your shoulders. She nods and says, Good then. Well, let me know if there's anything I can do. I'll be here to answer any of your questions.
Great. And if how do we reach you if we need to take our investigations on somewhere else?
She hands you her card. I will have my cell phone on me at all times.
We'll be in touch. I lean over to Opti as he is approaching, and I go, "Did I do it right? Did I do well?"
Yeah, great job.
I give her 2 thumbs up.
And she's sort of turns back to Dr. Tamarin, who had sort of trailed in behind her as well, and Dr. Tamarin sort of puts her arm around her shoulder, and they go walking away to sort of comfort each other and figure out what the hell they're going to tell the press or whoever else comes asking questions for now. But it's their job to worry about that, and it's your job to solve the crime. So with that, you the only leads that you have is that it was hacked, and they came out of the wall somehow, but there's just outside, like the second story up, there's no way you can tell for them to have done that you can tell, that you know of. So, and just, yeah, the whole exhibit of the unknown pharaoh is gone.
This was like magic.
Yeah, there's no way to really tell how they got away either.
So it. You said, Cliff, if I remember correctly, something just went through the wall.
Yeah, from the microabrasions detected through the microscopic vision of Astro Chimp, and the sense picked up by core and bloodhound form, you can ascertain that they came out of the wall, apparently, or from the position of the wall on ground level, or floor level here, which is the second story, went over and gathered up the things and went back out through the wall, and did so in a rather orderly and clean fashion.
So what's on the other side of the wall?
Outside. Ether was able to... I'm sorry. Optimist asks that, and Ether responds. Because you're the one who found that out.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's looking like. There's nothing on the other side of the wall. It's just the outdoors.
Are we on the
second
high
story up?
Are we
There's
on
a
the
parking
high
lot below.
story?
Sort of. I mean, it's this like big building, and there's like some rafter stuff up, and maybe some infrastructure type rooms and things on a level above where you are now. But this is the second story is the tallest, accessible to the public museum level. There are other parts where these tall levels are sort of broken up as well into sort of more stories depending on the exhibit or area. So it's a big building.
Wait, didn't that Chaos fella, didn't he have portal abilities?
Oh yes, I was also thinking about that sorceress near the well.
And there is a sometime member of the Variants with shadow powers who might be able to accomplish something like this. I thought he was a good guy. I thought he was on our side, but
Silhouette wouldn't have done something like that.
well, that's I wouldn't thought so either, but we're making the list of possibilities.
So, Optimist, your special like basically like the mayor's red phone to you, basically, like that is chirping. You're getting an urgent call. This isn't good.
All right, I will answer that. Cliff, in the meantime, Macchiato has a suggestion for...
Ooh, let's hear it.
They say maybe the museum staff was in on it. Someone on their staff is powered and either stole the artifacts or collaborated with the thief. So I'm not sure if that's a complication or that just completely changes what you're doing, or maybe you could add it. If not, then we can say, well, try again or something else.
Let me think about it.
All right.
If I can't work it in, I'll come up with another chance or give you a do-over. But I'll think of something here. It's not going to be quite as overt as that suggestion, but I think I've got an idea or two. We'll see how it plays out. Yeah, whatever the case, Optimist gets a call from the mayor's hotline to Opti. Basically, this is like the bat signal going up.
Mayor, this is Optimist.
Optimist, how are things going at the museum?
Well, we're a little stumped, to be honest.
That's just fantastic. Well, apparently there's been another mysterious theft. It sounds like a similar MO, though I haven't had a full report on anything yet. Please have your team report immediately to the Proudhaven Museum of the Arts, or at least some of your team, to get ahead of this as quickly as we can, and to get Astrochimp to stop talking to the press.
It is a free country, sir. Freedom of the press and freedom of speech is one of our most important liberties. I'm just not sure it would be right for me to tell somebody who's also a hero what to do.
He's grandstanding, for Pete's sake, and dropping information that you yourself verified was incorrect, and let me say, mentioning an alien invasion when there is in fact not an alien invasion happening in front of the press is an inflammatory thing. It's... Well,
sir, I can't say that lying is appropriate, but I also can say that Astrochimp has literally saved the planet more times than you have. So, he's a valued member of my team.
I appreciate that very much, but if you could just please show some reticence in front of the reporters when things are ongoing, and try not to reveal incomplete or incorrect information to the public. Is that too much to ask? I'm not attempting to be an oppressive dictator here.
No, sir, I will pass on the message for certain.
Good. And again, Proudhaven Museum of the Arts, I believe you were there a couple of weekends ago for their fundraiser.
Yes, I'll send Astrochimp right over.
Fantastic. He hangs up. You could just picture him turning back to his minibar and pouring himself another drink.
The non-oppressive dictator has number one told us of another robbery. Number two, Obo, if possible, he would appreciate you not over-aggrandizing our exploits to the press, especially in ways that might stir up controversy.
Yeah, but have you seen how much likes it got on Twitter? And then I show him like the millions of like followers I got.
Wow, that's a lot of likes.
Yeah, I'm just doing PR.
That's not as many as the variants have, though. You may want to step up your game.
All right. Just just have. Maybe we should get somebody more charismatic as our. You know what? I will stop.
I defended you, though.
I'm just saying we need a better PR person. I wonder how Sue would work in that station.
Speaking of Sue, I would like to give Sue a quick ring-a-ling.
All right. Yeah, she picks up just in the lab. There's sort of a panel where she's like hits a button on something, and she's just talks to us to microphone in the ceiling somewhere. Yeah, this is Sue. What's going on
Hi,
out there?
Nursey Rex. I was hoping that you'd be able to help us out. We've got a robbery here, and we're trying to solve it. And I think that Chaos feller might be involved.
Oh, Chaos Lord? Yeah, he likes to steal stuff all the time.
So,
how do you know that, though?
well, the trail's gone cold. We think there might have been a porthole. So, was hoping. Do you know of where he might be holed up that we could find him?
I think it's pretty unlikely he's going to be any of the places that we might have used as safe houses the couple of times we worked together. But yeah, I'll give you the addresses. She sends you a couple of addresses. They're sort of out of the way warehouse type locations. But he didn't live here or anything. This is just where we operated out of for a short time, a couple of days or so.
Well, maybe there's a trail that we can follow. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, good luck, and be careful. He's a spiteful son of a gun.
Oh my. Will do. Appreciate it. But I know I've got you to put me back together. Need be.
What? Oh, yeah, I'm not very good at that, by the way. I kind of lied in the resume. Just kidding. Just kidding. It's a little bedside manner for you, right?
Oh, yes, I'm gonna go now. Right.
You get killed or something, because I can't fix that.
I'll try real hard not to. Thanks, Sue. As I disconnect, I'll give the info to Astro and Gravistar, and hopefully they can do computery type stuff to maybe, I don't know, help us out. Is there something like hero pointy that I can do to give us a lead?
Let's see here. I think yes.
There is
You're
literally
thinking there might be magic
inspiration,
involved. You could essentially adapt one of your powers to give yourself some sort of a magic detection sense and spend a hero point to not get fatigued from that. We don't have to worry too much about how the points work on that, but if you want to do that, I will say as a GM, that's a way to get a pretty significant clue.
So
You're able to get like a magic detection type sense.
here's what I'll do then. I'm gonna, as they're kind of piecing this together and the info I gave them, and I'm not sure what Aether and Opti are doing, but I'm gonna step outside, and as soon as I hit the sunlight, my skin begins to glow a little bit brighter, and my eyes dilate so that there's no whites; they just turn bright green, no pupils, and also there's just, without my using my branch, this the outline of wings appear on my back, but they're very faint and hard to see. But I'm going to go ahead and fly around to the other side of the wall where Aether had been looking, and start activating a magic sense to see if there's any kind of trail that I can sense around the city. I'll fly as high as I need to.
All right, give me a perception test.
Okay. All right, I'm rolling my perception, but I do have a +3 right now to what I'm at right now. So that would be a 29.
Okay, yeah, you can definitely tell there is a strong residue of magic on that wall. It's a bit dulled, as if maybe the main residue is on the inside of the building, not the outside. It doesn't seem to go anywhere from here, though, or lead anywhere, as far as you can tell. But it's definitely like a strong impression of, yeah, there was definitely some powerful magic that was done at that spot. If you go in the building and take a look, you might find something more. And when you do come down and fly around in the building, you happen to notice that one of the guards, the white guy, Tanner, he's got this kind of bright glow around his head.
And it matches the glow of the wall?
Yeah, he's walking along with the other guard, kind of back across the main floor, underneath the giant dinosaur bone statue thing. Well, it's not a statue, it's dinosaur bones. Probably cast, but who knows? They look real.
I like gear up like I'm about to call him out, and then kind of look around me and get insecure and go to the Optimist and say, hey, there's magic has been used on that wall, and that guy's signature matches it.
You actually look and see when you're back in the room with the where the Egyptian exhibit was. Like, there is a strong magic signature on the wall, almost in the exact shape of that portal you remember seeing that Chaos Lord used to evac Sue back then when that happened in the premiere.
Interesting.
And there's like little residues of magic that kind of like drizzle around, like they left footprints from stepping through the portal, the magic that they trailed around. And you can more or less verify the trail that you smelled, that they went around. Basically, they came out of that portal, grabbed the stuff, and went back through the portal. And apparently also hacked the computer system somehow. Maybe there was the magic aura that you saw around that guard's head has something to do with that.
Hey, Astra.
Maybe he's innocent, but also not innocent.
I think our friend Tenor over there might know something about what happened. Would you check with him? And I want to stay by the portal and kind of like touch it, and maybe this is the point where I can use the hero point and see if I can reactivate the portal.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna try to reactivate the portal. You take out the instinctively take out your silver branch and put your hand on there, and there's this sort of sense of magic, but this magic that was used for the portal is completely different than the magic of your silver branch. Like, they're both magic, right? But they're so different that they might as well be different, almost be different categories of different things. And it hurts as you start to connect to it. You can feel it flowing into you and flowing into the branch, which it was starting to glow a moment ago with its sort of silvery aura, and it seems to dull some, and you just feel this tightness and discomfort and anxiety building up within you, and I guess a bit of a sadness, but like a sharp sadness of sudden betrayal, and just all these negative things rising up in you, and you just feeling like you're not worth it, and you're not worthy, and you're just, these people are going to see right through you, the imposter syndrome building up, and just this chaos magic swirling through and around you, and you connect to it, and then you channel it and force it to do your bidding, and you do indeed reopen a portal.
I'm just crying a little, but that's okay.
And what you find is there is a room. It's very dark, basically like a kind of concrete or cinder block walls, that sort of thing. It gives kind of look of a warehouse somewhere. And there's a bunch of Egyptian artifacts in a sarcophagus, like stashed like around kind of neatly in one corner. And the place looks like it's pretty well sealed. Like, there's some metal doors. There's nobody in here. Looks like you found wherever the thieves stashed the goods, and they're not presently here.
So as I've got my hand up to this portal, trying to push all this energy through to get it to open, and it does, and I see what's inside, I kind of, hey guys, I found something, and call them over.
Astro Jim's gonna look around.
When she turns and looks to you, her eyes look like they're bright red coals.
Oh my.
There's sort of a blackness seeping out around them. And she looks a bit pale.
I'm gonna go up to her. I'm gonna be with a very concerned look in my face. Says, Cor, are you okay, or are you going through a phase?
I don't know what you mean, but this doesn't feel great. So whatever we're gonna do, please let's do it. We made a promise. I made a promise.
All right. So anybody who's not the current people in dialogue, so and Gravistar, Optimist, and Ether, each of you give me a perception test.
Okay. $30.
I got 24.
All right, Optimist.
Jeez, I roll a natural one.
Oh my. Okay, so yeah, you're so focused on what's going on here as best you can that you don't notice, and neither does Gravistar with his 24 even. But burn my bread. Oh, that's Ether.
Sorry.
Username. Yeah. So Ether, you happen to look and see. You're not focused on like the bulk of the action. You're kind of watching the edges of things like you normally do, and you see kind of the shadow of a shape moving in, like, oh, someone else is coming in here, like one of the doctors or one of the guards or something. And then you see they're more like creeping forward, and it's one of the guards, and he's got a pistol out, a revolver, and he's raising it. He's about to shoot Core.
Do I have a second to react to that?
Yes, you may take an action, or you may do something.
Can I attempt to dive into his body?
He's close enough, so yeah, go for it. You just sort of MacGyver tackle him.
Yeah.
All right. Sort of run up.
I was actually going to try to possess him, but that works too.
Oh, you're going to... I thought you were in your body, sorry.
I was going to just hop out and crumple down and then...
Okay,
but no, I can just tackle him too. That works. I have a power suit.
Okay, yeah, you just sort of throw your body at him, MacGyver style, and that's sort of the old reference. I don't know if... I haven't seen the recent MacGyver at all. I don't know if it's any good. I'm just referencing, like, old school MacGyver episodes. Like, I mean, they would often show him, like, doing martial arts and stuff as, like, one of his hobbies or a pastime, but when he actually got into a fight, he would just, like, fling his body at whoever he had to fight just as quickly as he could. Just launch himself at him, knock them over, and then get up and run away. So that's what I mean by that. Sentimental 255. There's MacGyver. There's a C in there. Just go ahead and Google it. That's a long enough tangent. One of my favorite shows as a kid. Anyway, so you're going to tackle him. That's just going to be a attack roll with your fighting.
Yeah.
A particular combat skill or whatever. Just use your full bonus.
Would that just be fighting?
You have +4 to fighting and +4 to strength.
Okay. Is that on top of what I already had?
On top of whatever you already had.
Okay, do you want me to roll strength or fighting?
So it's fighting is the ability, not strength. Strength would apply to damage, but fighting is the attribute. So use your fighting bonus plus any bonus you have for the skill of, I guess, unarmed combat. If you took it, plus that bonus of +4, I think, up to a maximum of, I think, the power level, which is
I got a 20.
12, right? See, 20, yeah, that's definitely enough to throw yourself into this guard. You knock him back, and... Oh, I didn't get any dice to hand. I've been letting you guys make most of the rolls here. What is your damage level? It'd basically be with your strength, with the suit, so that's +4 to your strength bonus.
Yeah,
with anything else that might apply to damage.
I don't think I have anything else.
By the way, your suit looks like kind of like Astrochimp suit, but it has a spooky ghost symbol on it.
Good.
Oh yeah, he's down and out. And the gun goes off and ricochets off the ceiling. Threat's been averted. He apparently reacted and tried to stop the person who was reopening the portal, I guess. But yeah, Ether, you've got the portal open. Not Ether, Core, you're holding the portal open. You feel something odd in your hand, and you look down, and the stick is beginning to crack, it looks like. You can feel it cracking in your hand.
Can I drop it and use both hands to keep the portal open and use the magic that's in my blood to try to...
You toss aside the silver branch, forsaking its power for the moment and embracing the darkness and the chaos, and turn your both hands toward the portal and hold it open. It gets a lot easier.
Oh. All right. I keep holding it open and say, guys, I'd like you to get moving.
Yeah, and you all look and see it. Well, there's all the stolen stuff. You might want to get it back now. It looks like whatever she's doing to hold up the portal is doing something weird to her. It might not be healthy. It doesn't look healthy.
Core's always getting hurt. It's fine.
Yeah, this seems different, though. Like, maybe she's getting infected with evil or something.
Yeah. I'm going to tell her we will need to talk about your life choices after this. Jump in and using my time bubble, try to grab and move as many of the Egyptian artifacts back to the museum as I can.
All right. It only takes you guys a short amount of time before you can rush in and recover all the artifacts. The guard who had attempted to shoot Core returns to consciousness and looks up and says, "Huh? What? Who are you? What are you doing in my..." And he's very disoriented. He seems to be confused. Like, doesn't seem like he realizes he just tried to shoot somebody.
Oboe, run to the portal and stay there. And then we'll go investigate this other place. And when they come back, then you send us their coordinates and we'll converge on their location.
When the portals stop, when after Core stops concentrating on.
Yeah, just stay and hide.
Oh, okay. I'm getting some stuff ready. Get my invisibility.
Core, at this point, I would like you to make a will save.
Uh-oh, I'm not good at those.
Oh my. It's not a good time to not be good at those.
If I just hit will, is that a will check or a will save?
It's a d20 plus your will bonus, which I think is your wisdom bonus, plus if you put points into your will saves.
Okay, yeah.
Am I using the right terminology? Yeah, it's called a will save.
Yeah, it's
okay. I just want to make sure in roll 20 I was hit. 22.
Okay, yeah, you can feel this powerful magic just flowing through you. And you're right, it's not coming from the branch. It's different from the branch, and it's not like the branch, and the branch doesn't like it. And it's not of you either, but you're harnessing it, you're forcing it into control. You might have essentially used the branch like a match to spark it and get it lit, but you're running this, and it is so exhilarating. And you risk essentially getting carried away and lost in the flow of magic, but you keep your concentration and hold it all in force. And yeah, you've got this. All this dark, wild chaos energy, it's all just power to be used. And you know how to wield it.
Guys, I'm great at things. Look at me go.
I don't know if I like this.
And looking at her, she's got these weird dark veins coming out from the center darkness of her eyes, which are like pits of coal. And her lips look black. And it's just she's her skin is otherwise like super duper pale. She's looking really odd. Like the tips of her fingers are black and it's like streaking down back towards her hands and down her wrists as if it's dripping with something, but this power is flowing out and through and around her. And she seems to be directing it.
I look at Obo and it's all creepy. I don't mean it to be, but it totally is with what's happening with the eyes. And I go, quiet, sidekick.
Obo's gonna gulp and he's gonna, he's like looking up exorcism rituals and shit.
At least I'm not the creepy one anymore.
All right, it looks like it's probably not a good idea to have Core holding this thing open any longer than she has to. So now that you've recovered the goods, what are you up to? Can she drop the portal, or are you going to tell her to hold it open for longer?
Was there anything else in there, or was it just kind of a little pocket room thing?
If you enter in and take a look at the room, it looks like, this is like some sort of old rundown, out of the way, out of use warehouse. It seems to be a pretty reasonably reinforced room. It looks like they've done some recent work on it, but it's otherwise pretty run down and dirty. It doesn't look like there's power active here that you can tell. And and there's the one exit, which is these double doors that are there's actually chains wrapped around on this side, and there's something unusual about the chains. As you move up and take a look at them, it seems like they have like a brighter colored metal than you're used to, and when you look closely at them, it seems like there's strange symbols, like what's the word, engraved. That's it. Symbols engraved like all over the links. You're not sure if it's safe to just touch them.
Well, we are leaving Astrochimp behind, so we can leave and he can continue to investigate.
All right, so you all go back to the museum, leaving Astrochimp behind, and give the nod to Core. Core, are you going to release the power?
I kind of don't want to, right?
It's up to you. It feels pretty good to wield it. You're not sure if you can get it back again.
I don't know. Can we ask the chat?
The chat's just going to say hold on to it because they like drama.
Well, we're here to entertain, right? So I'm going to keep holding.
Okay,
Drama
you guys
llamas.
kind of give her a nod, and she seems to ignore you. She seems to be holding up the power and just reveling in its energy and flow.
That's not great.
You can drop it.
Come on, Core. Look what it's doing to you.
I walk up to her and I'm like, Core,
No, you don't.
buddy.
You're on the other side, bro.
Oh, but the portal's still open.
Yep. So Astrochimp
the portal is still
steps
open?
across the portal. You hear the entreaties of your friends. They seem strangely distant, as if maybe underwater or something. But you can hear them. You can understand them.
I've been trying to keep the portal open this whole time, like portraying energy out. Can I try to suck it in? Take the power with me?
Yeah, there's an arcane skill, isn't there? Is that the right term for it? Do you have that?
I don't see it on my sheet.
It has to be an expertise.
Okay. Then give me a will save.
Okay. 25.
Okay, so you sort of pull the portal into yourself, pulling the power from it, trying to dismantle the portal, sort of just unraveling that chaotic energy, just trying to draw it into you, and you do. The problem is you don't really have the skill to know what to do with it, so you're currently just blazing with this energy that's it's starting to get a bit painful. You can feel yourself heating up from the inside, and you all can kind of see her. She's sort of rising up a bit, and smoke is coming out of her.
Can I transform into? Oh, wait, I'm not wearing, or I'm not holding the stick, so no, I can't.
Yeah, and she's like glowing with this bright energy that's brightly pulsing and just sort of bouncing around, and it just seems to It seems very chaotic and like she's barely containing it. And it might not be helpful to her to be holding onto it right now. You're all there, by the way, except for, I guess, Astro Chimp at this point. You see the portal close and you're alone in that room.
Yeah, I extend my hand and say no very dramatically.
I'll go ahead and I'm going to try to expend the extra energy, but still hold on to a little bit to keep it to myself. But yeah, I'll just kind of like, as this energy gets hotter and hotter, I'll like do some kind of comic book panel like, and see what blasts off of me.
All right, give me another will save and then make an intellect check.
22 for will, 11 for intellect.
Okay, so yeah, you sort of you manage to keep yourself intact through all of this, and just you're trying to hold on to some of this energy, and you throw a bunch of it to the side, and there's this burst of chaotic energy, and just the sarcophagus breaks apart. The mummy starts on fire. The artifacts are scattered about. Some of them tossed around and hitting the walls and shattering, and there's this, just this chaotic outburst. The rest of you heroes who are nearby are sort of knocked back, and you feel this like blast of wind and sort of sizzle of energy across you, like a funny bone tingle across your entire body for a moment. And when it's done, you can see the mummy's laying out on the ground, like face down, you think, and it's on fire. The sarcophagus is cracked, and a lot of this stuff is messed up.
Time to go put out some fires.
Core is like back down on the ground and no longer like looking all glowy and stuff, and the eyes aren't glowing like coals. Her skin and stuff still looks the same, mostly like white and blackened here and there. And when she looks up at you, her eyes are normal, but like just very bloodshot.
I kind of pant from the expenditure of energy and look around at everything.
Yeah, and Corey, you're fatigued, but I will say, as far as like future expenditures of experience points, feel free to look into picking up other magics that aren't just related to the shapeshifting at this point, because you sort of opened that door in a matter of speaking.
Whoops.
And
I'm rushing over to like put out the mummy fire.
At that point, you hear as you look over to. Apparently, Dr. Mubarak was coming back in here with Dr. Tamarin to hear what was going on, and sees the absolute disarray of the recovered items, and yeah, she just faints. And we'll end scene there, I guess. The rest of you sort of you have to kind of make your apologies and get the hell out of there. Were you going to try to gather any other information while you were still here?
No, we probably should.
Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of you have been quieter than others. Well, some of you have been quieter than others, so.
I think at this point we need to track down Astrochamp's location so we can be there when whoever is doing this returns to that. I think that was the plan, right, Optimus?
Yep.
And Astrochimp, do you have a means to transmit your coordinates or position to the rest of your team?
I have a regular communicator, but if that doesn't work, I can make something.
You can take 10 on a little bit of a jury rig roll to, give him a transponder signal.
Yeah, that's fine.
And you've got a location. Yeah, it looks like he's in the city. Let's see. One of you had done some research and found a couple of. Corey, you called and gotten a couple of addresses from Sue. It's not either of those locations, but it's the same general part of town. So apparently, like that part of town, you might want to look a little bit closer at it because, supervillain safe houses seem to be a regular thing in that neighborhood. Must be a zoning thing.
How in the Optiverse, even supervillains have their own rights.
All right, so Macchiato, I hope you enjoyed the introduction of your complication. The guard having been essentially ensorcelled and trying to take out Core for opening up that portal. All right, so the rest of you, I guess, are you going to head right over to where Astrochimp is, or do something else first?
Do I have my normal senses back? Like, am I a good person?
I never said you weren't. I made no judgment on your character. I just described what was happening, so, you know.
As I pick myself back up, then I want to walk over to Tanner and ask him what he remembers before.
And you quickly realize, talking to Tanner, that the last thing Tanner remembers was doing his rounds and basically approaching the Egyptian exhibit and walking away, and that's the last thing he remembers. So there's apparently some time that he stayed and he's been around and interacting, that he has not been aware of his surroundings.
All right. Well, if you have any more blackouts, please get in touch with us and let us know.
Nods. All right, so we'll cut to Astrochimp. You're back in this dark room with the potentially ensorcelled chain on the one door that's leading out. That said, I mean, you're an engineer, and walls are just temporary obstructions to engineers.
Yeah, but I'm gonna wait till the Justicars come over. But otherwise, I'm gonna pretty much stay in here with my laser pistol out, just entertaining myself.
Okay.
You guys entertain yourself with your laser pistol?
Yeah, it's just,
I'm not going to look too deeply into that, but yeah, let's move on from there. As Astrochimp is entertaining himself with his laser pistol, about 30 seconds after the portal closes, he give me a perception test.
All right,
and you got enhanced audio hearing or
audio and analytical and dark vision.
Okay.
24.
So you hear the muted voices before the large metal door slides open outside, and then there's a couple of hoots and hollers. Oh, that's so easy! I can't believe how easy this is with a mage. And you hear another voice, this one more familiar. Yes, well, I've held up to my end of the bargain on both counts. I have the materials from the exhibit, and you have your jewels. Hold on a moment, another voice a bit more tinny says. Don't I get a turn? What? Lip, what do you want? Oh, come on now. I've been doing all this hacking for all of you and taking over computer systems. I should get something too. We should pull off a heist together to get something I want. What could you possibly want, you imbecilic bit of zeros and ones in code? Oh, imbecilic, what do you know? You're always so rude to me. You could be nice to people, you know? You can be nice to people. Just because we're evil doesn't mean we have to be rude to everyone. And then says, I'm going to go ahead and put the rest in the vault here. No, Chaos Lord's voice comes up. That's my material. You take your jewels elsewhere. I have it specially warded, and I don't want to break the chain. It costs me a bit to set it up. But I'll know if anyone messes with it. Now, what's this nonsense then, Blip? And I guess, do you want to just stick around and listen, or?
No,
sounds like I should also say that other voice you hear, the tinny voice, you think it's the voice that was coming out of those drones or whatever that were attacking the Justicar HQ along with Chaos Lord and Sue that one time.
Can I check how long it's going to take the Justicars to get here?
Yeah, you start doing some math estimating. It looks like you've got at least another couple minutes before they're going to show up. Unless, one or two of the faster ones just leaves the rest behind.
All right. Astro Chimp is cocky, so he's going to literally step out from the shadows and be like, hey, don't I know you pencil-necked freak? And he's going to point his gun straight in towards, Castlenor's face.
Let me be clear. You're in a building. You're in a separate area that's been locked away and blocked by an ensorcelled chain. They've entered the building, but not this room. So you don't see them. You're not immediately aware of them. And if you try to mess with the door, you think it will probably set off some sort of magical trap.
All right, then I shall make a hole in the wall with my laser gun.
All right. You blast a hole in the wall right after Chaos Lord said, I would know if anyone messed with it. What is the meaning of this? And the little robotic voice says, uh-oh. And then you can hear a bunch of people starting to get up and scatter. I guess everyone give me an initiative roll. As you're kind of getting over comms from Astro Chimp, I'm going to say you at least have presence of mind to just send off a little comm message saying, I'm starting the party. You guys might want to get here as fast as you can. Something to that effect. So you guys get a little
17?
blip of a warning from him along with the comm thing.
13.
Like, yeah, party's starting. So
25.
So, you've sort of blasted open a hole and surprised everybody. You see there's about a half a dozen different, mostly like dark reds clad people, various different humans. Many of them have like masks or helmets on, but not all of them do. There's one particular kind of striking woman that you see toward the front who looks like she might be their leader from what you can tell. Anyway, you get a good look at them, and you get to go before anybody else does.
Right, I get my good old Kong formula, and I bring it up, and I'm gonna look at them and say, gentlemen and ladies, or lady, how do you feel about dancing with a giant monkey? And then I'm gonna turn myself huge.
All right, there's a decent sized roof in here, and you just become a big old monkey. And let's see. Ether, it's your turn. You're aware of trouble now. You're still a ways away. I guess if you'd fly using the suit, what is the flight speed of that, actually?
I actually don't know.
Does it have a flight speed?
Yep.
I'm assuming it does. Like rank 4. That's going to get you. Let's see. Yeah, that will take you a while. You might want to catch a ride or get there some other faster way. Maybe Gravistar can bring you along. How fast can you fly, Gravistar?
1,000 miles an hour.
Oh yeah. So, if you can you take passengers?
I sure can.
He's taken me places before, yeah.
Okay. And Optimist, do you have super fast flight?
I can fly 120 miles an hour, or if I need to, I can push myself and fly 1,000 miles an hour.
Let's say the 1,000 miles an hour would be necessary if you want to jump in on things in the next combat round.
All right.
And what about you, Core? Do you have a way to go that fast, or are you going to hitch a ride with the Gravistar or Optimist? Or Gravistar, can you take 2 passengers?
Yeah, I can take the whole team.
Well, I'll ride piggyback then. I will
And
literally
also-
ride him like yoo-hoo.
Also,
Well, there's no need to actually ride me. It's an area effect thing.
Okay.
I will
So,
climb
yeah.
on you while you're doing that.
So Gravistar is flying really quickly, and the other people are sort of being carried along in the gravity field. I'm assuming Gravistar sort of scoops up the branch and offers it to Core as you're flying along. Core,
I'll take it. I'll take it kind of worried, gingerly.
okay, you take it. You sort of feel kind of this familiar column, and there's this sort of flow along your skin that you just return to your normal appearance. And you take a look at the branch, and it doesn't seem to be cracked or anything.
Oh, great. Okay. I will fly along and transform into a phoenix.
All right. You do your transformation, and let's see. Also on this turn, then the the little flying drone thing. The speakers out of it say, "Oh no, it's the Justicars! How did they find us?" And he like goes flying back and away and goes zipping out like through one of the windows up above. And it looks like he's getting out of there. And then Chaos Lord turns and says, "Oh, well, that just settles it," and hits his staff on the ground, and he just suddenly falls through a portal in the floor, and that just closes up behind him, leaving the gangers behind. And they, let's see, 3 of them sort of move forward. One of them gets out some nunchucks and starts. They move up as if to attack. The other 3 are sort of moving toward the back. The one with their helmet off, the woman sort of puts her helmet back on and draws out this small round object. Looks kind of like a grenade, but it's glowing a little bit, like there's a light or something on it.
It's be like the Justice League versus the Daredevil villains.
All right. Then I guess next round, Astrochimp, it's your turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my huge ape paws to grab the woman. So I need to do an attack roll.
Okay, reach down.
All right, and the that DC also works against. As also the DC. Actually, it's going to be a little less. It's going to be -5, so it's going to be 23. It's the DC she needs to pass if she wants to not get.
Yeah, I rolled like crap. So you reach down, just grab her and squeeze, and she just goes unconscious. At that point, the rest of you are flying in and starting to arrive. You can each act in your initiative. You can see this warehouse down below, and it looks like there's a little flying drone thing like zipping away from the scene. Just came out of one of the windows of this big warehouse building. So first up on this arriving, well, actually everyone's sort of holding their action till Gravistar's turn, but we'll go in whatever order you want. But Ether, you get first chance. How do you want to approach things?
So that thing is in the air. Can I have there's a blaster or something that's part of my suit, right?
The one I gave you?
It's your
It's
suit.
just punchy.
Oh, okay. It's just punchy. All right, never mind. Yeah, I guess in that case, if we're not completely there yet, then I'm not gonna just jump into it. I'm gonna wait and try to decide where we're going.
Okay, then Core, you're sort of this flying phoenix thing, zipping along, sped up by Gravistar's grab field flight thing. And yeah, you see this warehouse up ahead, and it looks like a robot drone flying away. What do you do?
I'm gonna channel my new superpowers and try to, as the phoenix, like spit some fire, some chaos fire. It's gonna be my new superhero name, guys. And see if I can take the drone out.
Okay, so you do like a chaos fire thing, kind of an alternate use of your, one of your powers. So just go ahead and give us an attack roll. That would be, I think, intellect based because it'd be your magic skill.
I think that's an 18.
All right. You fire at the drone. An 18 is not going to hit it. It sort of zips to the side and evades and turns. It looks really familiar, like one of those drone that drone that attacked the place. Maybe you didn't see it yourself, but you'd have seen some of the footage or something. You were fighting Sue in the hallway at the time, I think. Anyway, let's see, where were we? That was Core's turn. Optimist, you're arriving on the scene. What are you doing? There's a warehouse. There's a drone flying away. As far as you know, your buddy's in there and he's in trouble.
Well, then I only have one action I can take, and that is to destroy. I'll just punch a hole in the roof and fly through.
Boom! You crash through the roof. Doesn't even take an action. And just, come on, just descend on down in there. Yeah, see, there's like King Kong's got his girl in his hand who's unconscious, and there's like 5 other, looks like gang members in here, all wearing masks and helmets and things. And yeah, one of them has some nunchucks out.
Okay, everybody, it's time to stop fighting. Put down the weapons and be cool. And don't do drugs. And I'll say it just like that. And hope to convince them to put down their weapons. Because, the Justicars are here.
With any power or something, or just talking to them?
You know what? Yeah, we'll try for the umpteenth time to do de-escalation beam. And we'll watch it succeed this time. Because hope springs eternal.
So you go to zap.
Wow, 28! Yeah, nunchuck guy.
That hits. He fails his save by a bunch, so he's fully affected. He just sort of tosses his nunchucks on the ground and sits down.
Yeah, now the rest of you.
And yeah, at that point, let's see. One more person. Gravistar, you can go. I think Ether's sort of holding as well, so feel free to jump in if you want to, but we'll let Gravistar have a turn here first.
Yeah, so I bring us in so Ether can do whatever she wants on her turn. And then how many drones are there? Is it just the one drone?
There was the one drone that was flying away from this place. So it's a matter of whether you want to chase it or let it go and stick to the main objective.
Just on the off chance we can use it, I'm going to try to grab it and pull it back.
Okay, is that an attack roll or just a save?
It's an attack roll on this because it's not an area effect.
All right, you reach out with your gravity powers like telekinesis to grab a hold of this drone. It's a ways away, but within reach.
Ugh, man, I rolled like crap.
Yep.
Oh, it's a natural one.
Oh yeah, you try to get a hold of the thing, but it's too quick and slippery, and you can't quite get a feel of the position, the depth of field, and all that. Just between all of it, you just don't get a hold on it, and looks like it's going to get away. And then the rest of the goons go. Yeah, the one that dropped the nunchucks just kind of actually lays back, folds his hands behind his head, kind of crosses his legs and lays back, just making himself comfortable on the floor. And the remaining 4 basically turn and make a run for it. And they're hopping on motorcycles just outside and revving them up. And next round, it is Giant Monkey's turn. Or Chimp, sorry. Astro Chimp.
Yeah.
Don't be racist.
Yeah. I'm not a monkey, I'm a chimp. Even though I call myself monkey all the time. But I can do that, you can't. So he's gonna, he's gonna lay the unconscious woman down, and he's gonna just kind of tower over the only remaining person still. There's one bad guy still standing, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped Ether. You still had an action you were holding, and you did get brought into this room.
Okay.
I would like you to make a perception test.
26.
The unconscious form that Astro Chimp is holding is your original body.
Oh shit. Okay.
What? Blood twist.
So yeah, I'm gonna go right for that.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess Ether goes running up and Astro Chimp lays you down. And there's an unconscious your original body laying there, wearing looks like the Scarlet Raven's uniform, dressed just like how you used to. I mean, maybe a little bit better fashion sense. Looks like whoever's been wearing these clothes has been in better money than you were back in the day. Some overall better equipment there, but that's definitely your body.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to like signal him not to like attack her or anything. Is he still trying to attack her, or is he going up after the other person?
You just laid her down on the ground and you sort of run up to her. So I'm giving you a moment here.
Okay. Are there any like ropes or anything like that nearby?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna tie her up.
Okay. So yeah, there's one person who's sort of laying back, relaxed, and giving up the fight. And 4 that are trying to flee on motorcycles, and 1 that's unconscious that's being wrapped up by Ether. Next would be Core.
Was Astro Chimp doing something?
Oh, did I skip Astro Chimp? I'm sorry. Yes, Astro Chimp is first.
Yeah.
No, you laid her down. That was just kind of a move action, I guess. If you're gonna lay her down gently.
Pretty much gonna lay her down gently, and if there's one other person left who's still, fighting, I'm just gonna.
There's nobody else left in here who's an opponent. They all ran outside and started at motorcycles. There's one person who's laying down, who's like looks like the Optimist blasted him with his, feel good array or whatever.
Light of de-escalation. Words have meaning. It's important to be precise.
That was very precise.
Well, I can use my action to move.
I think you also hear with your expert hearing muffled underneath the guy's helmet. Here's a little song I wrote. And I'm not going to sing any of the rest.
Might want to sing it note for note.
Yeah, the dude's singing Don't Worry, Be Happy to himself as he's laying there on the Opti beam. He's going to Don't Worry, Be Happy himself to jail.
Well, if I can move with my regular action, I am going to fly out, because I can still do that, out of the warehouse.
You blast apart like the skylight up at the top. Glass goes flying and falling all over the place. Like there's this shard that falls directly down, like this big long spear of glass, just camera zooming as it falls down at the dude who's just laying down relaxed. And it like comes straight down on him and like it hits the middle of his helmet and shatters and falls apart. And yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm chasing after the drone if I can't keep up with it.
Yeah, you go fly it out, all that glass everywhere. Give me a perception test to see if you can pick up the drone. It's going to be pretty difficult. Extremely difficult.
Right.
He eats difficult for
28.
breakfast with his Nutella.
You can't see any sign of the drone anywhere. It's had some time to get away and been motivated to do so, and who knows what tech that thing has built into it. You're pretty sure it's long gone.
Aww.
You might be able to run some additional further scans, but you think it got away. And let's see here. After that is... then it's Ether, who's tying up herself. And then it's Core's turn.
All right, so is this drone thing still flying around?
It's gone. It flew away.
That makes me mad.
Yeah, it was outside. So yeah, now you're inside the building, and like some people ran out to get on motorcycles and get away.
I would like I'll shout after them, and I'm gonna head outside and turn into a small version of a falcon, and follow them. Try to see if they'll lead me to Chaos Lord.
Okay. And then next would be Optimist.
What are there still bad guys doing their stuff? They all just take off.
They ran outside and got on motorcycles and started them up. They haven't left yet.
I'm not interested in tracking them down. We have this guy, and as I'm very much aware that, like, when you chase people, you know, at high speeds, there's a huge possibility to have civilian injuries, and so I'm just going to let them go and focus on the guy that we have here.
Now that you know, Cora's on it. She'll track them. How about you, Gravistar? You got an action left this turn. You gonna do anything dramatic with it?
Well, I'm outside because I hadn't actually went in yet because I was trying to get to drone, right?
Oh, sure. You were sort of like just out at the exit, so you're pretty much just above where all those people ran out and got on their motorcycles, like maybe 10 or 15 feet above them.
Yeah, they haven't taken off yet, right?
No, they've started up the engines. They seem very motivated to leave quickly, though.
Just basically just ground those motorcycles so they don't take off.
Okay. You reach out with your gravity powers, and you quickly just scoop up the gang. It's a fort save with them, right?
It's a dodge. DC 22 dodge.
Up. So I think we'll end the episode with one of them zips away with Core following as a small falcon, and Gravistar's gotten all but that one. So that's actually really fortuitous. One of them rolled really high in their dodge, so there's one to sort of give Core a trail to follow. And you've captured essentially the bulk of the Scarlet Ravens gang, but apparently among them was. Yeah, as you look down at Ether, it just seems to be looking down at this one in particular that she's tied up, and she's just particularly troubled about it. She's got this look on her face. Optimist, you noticed that about her. Are you going to approach her about it?
Of course. Ether, you look troubled. Is everything all right?
I found my body.
That's great, actually. What's troubling you? Wait.
I don't know who that is.
You mean somebody's been using it?
That's what it looks like. She's unconscious, though, so maybe I can kick her out. I don't know.
That's creepy. We are here for you, no matter what. We'll figure this out. Also very, very odd.
All right, I think that was a good session. You guys did well. More investigation than straight up like power stuff. Kind of a neat change of pace. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I tend to lean more on the action than the investigation. I like how Core came up with a completely different angle to circumvent the other ways of approaching it that I thought of. Like I had like another place that was gonna get busted into, so Blip could steal some tech. You guys were supposed to go to the art museum and check that out and interacted with some other NPCs, but just went, no, we're gonna go straight for recovering the artifacts using pure creativity
and stolen dark magic. But I'm sure that won't come back to bite us later.
It'll be fine.
I love role-playing games. You just can't know what's gonna happen, even if you know a lot of what's going on behind the scenes. As a GM even. So yeah, that was great. I'm going to give you guys the 5 experience points for tonight. I think big reward for that. And you recovered the Egyptian artifacts, but also wrecked a bunch of them with dark magic, including setting the mummy on fire.
Yeah. Sorry guys. I feel real bad for that person. I promised I would help her save everything.
Right. But at least you got it back, right? But yeah, it's not in Chaos Lord's hands. Whatever he was going to do with it.
So
we went up a power level.
I don't think you actually go up a power level unless I say so.
Oh, I thought he just got all right.
I mean, there's like suggested points for different power levels. Actually, I guess Opti and I have never discussed it.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But in the well, go ahead, Cliff. Before we end, I want to share something with the chat. So next week, the variants are they finished their first season, and so this next week on Monday, we are going to have our third Optiverse show premiere, and that is the Cosmic Corsairs. So I'm going to switch the scene over and give you guys a preview of what's coming next Monday. Hopefully I won't just kill the stream.
Are you talking? Because we can't hear.
Yeah, you're on mute or something.
You can't hear me?
There's a thing happening, I think.
Something's happening.
It's a spinning circle, though, in mind.
Yeah, it's trying to do something.
Yeah, and still can't.
I'm getting a black screen on the stream.
Be patient!
This is going great.
Yep, I refreshed it and it's still doing the spinning wheel. All right, we'll be patient.
Hey, I'll drop in that link to that awesome Kickstarter you guys should support.
All right, there we go. Does that work? Can you guys see it?
Still seeing a black screen. All right, I see something. Yep.
All right, now you can notice that those are not the people that will be playing in the Cosmic Corsairs, but those are the characters that you'll be seeing on the Cosmic Corsairs. And
that looks so cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be the most offbeat Optiverse show that we've done so far. And we've got, I think, at least a couple people in the chat that are going to be playing characters. Macchiato is going to be playing Echo, the robot.
Awesome.
And I don't know if we have any more in the chat. Maybe just Mac. But it's going to be super fun. And it starts on Monday. So make sure to check that out. It's going to run for 4 episodes. And then the variants will be back. And then once the Justicars finishes its run, then the Guardian Allies will start. But for 2 weeks from now, Gen Con will be just wrapping up, and so we will not be back. However, it is possible that we may be doing an Optiverse one-shot if we can get the people necessary to pull that off. So come back here or pay attention next 2 Sundays from now, and we might be streaming. And next week on Monday, come back at normal Optiverse time for the premiere of the Cosmic Corsairs. I'm pretty excited about it. So if anybody else wants to pump their up-and-coming awesomeness, like Sarah, you can go right ahead.
Yeah, so that Kickstarter, it's really great. Chicago Shadows. I dropped the link in. I'll do it again, because why not? And lots of cool media coming this week. Extra videos, and the interview dropped that I did today. And we're going to do a live stream Q&A probably Saturday. We have another video coming that talks a little bit more about the trailer and the plot of the trailer. So that's fun. And also a producer's comment video with me and Scott Schlutz, who is the lead writer, and Brianna Valentine, who is our behind-the-scenes film content person, and she's also the elf in the photos that have dropped. So she's super cool and so excited. So please throw us some support if you can. If not, just share. That's also super appreciated. And thanks, guys.
Woot!
Well, I think I'd like to not forget our Excelsior to end on, but I'd also like to do a raid. What do you think about hitting up Relative D-Pod?
Yeah,
He's sitting there with
let's do it.
3 viewers in his Dungeons and Dragons channel. He's an awesome dude who's run some, who's GM'd some games for some of us Shadowcasters, mostly in the context of playing animated ponies of awesomeness.
And he's also one of our mods over on our Discord server.
Yeah, and he also essentially curates a big long list of essentially media recommendations for people who want something Shadowrun-like. So, good guy. Go check out his channel, say hello, give him some love, and we're going to end with an Excelsior. Let's see if we can time it well here. Who wants to lead us in it, like with a 3, 2, 1 or whatever?
Bob does.
All right, Bob, lead us in the Excelsior.
Right.
How are we doing this?
So, on 1. So 3, 2, then go.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2.
Excelsior! Bob, did you
Hey, that
actually
was
fail
one of
your
the
own?
best one so far.
We get
I don't
better
think so.
I
every
feel
time.
like Bob was late on that one.
Still our best one yet. So.
All right, let's raid Relative D-Pod.
Awesome. So it's never mind. You know what you're doing. At least I assume you do.
Who's me?
Yeah, you're the one who's logged in this Shadowcasters network, right?
No, I'm
just logged into.
I'm just logged in
I
as
think
me.
I'm just logged as myself.
How do we do it?
Oh. Do we need Bobby to do the code
/raid.
again?
/ raid. And then what?
Channel name. Name of the
Space?
channel. Yeah, space and name.
Yeah, I don't have permission to do it. It's /raid space relative dpod.
All right, here we go.
Hey, it worked for you. Yay.
Sweet. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you had fun.